Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the live coverage. First time in the Adelaide Hills at Diamond 1 in Littlehampton. We've got the biggest game of the year to come, the grand final, the men's Division 1 grand final, and we've got some absolute superstars. I can't wait to introduce them, but first we will get across and introduce the team. We've got Lee Hull on special comments tonight. You've heard Lee doing the special comments throughout the year, and the voice of summer, Eric Ballner. Eric, good evening to you. Lee, good evening.
Good evening to you, Nick and Eric.
Lee, awesome to be here for you. Normally we've been doing the women's competition. It's great to be down here. An unbelievable community feel down here from when you're walking in, the buzz of the barbecue and the bar, walking around here, events all day long. It's a great feeling, great atmosphere down here, and it sets the stage pretty well for what should be a pretty good grand final.
It certainly does. It's not too late to get down. You're certainly in for the best night of softball, I dare say, since the women's grand final. There's the Pirates. There's Smoking Joe Harvey over there. We just caught some vision of him. They've got some medals around their necks. Obviously, the Pirates robbed someone from 11-0 today. So they've been stealing runs all over the place. It's going to be a really interesting game. I dare say, let's have a little talk about tonight. Predictions, Eric? What are you thinking?
Well, it should be a very close game, just judging by the pitchers. It's the Redsox and it's Hahndorf going at each other tonight. The Magpies versus the Redsox. And both these teams 1-2 all season long. Both these teams pretty close. The Red Sox finished with a better record in the regular season, but Hahndorf just getting through and beating them in the semifinal to get in. But it's really all about the pitchers in this game, isn't it?
It certainly is, with Jared Farrell and Laurie Peters. Quality, classy pitchers. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be tight, and I'm predicting it'll go extra time, extra innings.
I got to speak to the head coach before the game, Alex Fairley, for Hahndorf, and I just asked him, how do you see it panning out, Alex? And he said, well, us winning and Red Sox losing. He's a very simple man, Alex Fairley. He's obviously from the hills. And I spoke to Jared during the week as well, and he's just gone straight to the fact it's going to be a pitcher's duel. So he is very keen to be pitching his hardest tonight, and I dare say we're going to see this speed gun creep up to around the 125 mark and pushing the 130 mark. So 130 kilometres an hour. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious. It's going to be close in because this is not baseball, so this is softball. This is going to be good.
It's explosive sport, softball, as we all know. And as you mentioned, Nick, the pitchers is going to be a pitcher's game. So it'll come down to the people that make the routine plays, the execute that good throw across the diamond, and that'll stand them in good stead.
That is final softball. Do the basics, do them well, and there's nothing to fear, really. You should be in a good position by the 7th innings, and we could see this going to a tiebreaker.
Well, that's what two of us think. Eric hasn't given his commitment yet and what he thinks it'll be.
Well, it could come down to that man on screen that you just saw right there, Jared Farrell. He's a Team Australia pitcher for the national softball side as well too. Warming up there, you talked a little bit about him earlier. The man they called Chops.
So he's got the big smile.
He's relaxed. He's a great character around here, but he hasn't allowed an earned run all season long. So that trend will probably have to end if Hahndorf want to get through in this game.
They're going to break him. That's what they've got to do. Exactly right. They've got to penetrate. And I asked Alex Fairley about that one as well. What would the key be to winning this game tonight? And Alex has gone the short game. They've got to apply the bunt. They've got to get a runner on. If they get a runner on, apply the pressure to the field. He said we're going to be extremely aggressive in the base running, so we're going to be taking everything and risking it all. So they're desperate for a run early.
It's the basic routine plays, isn't it? You know, when you're ahead in the count against the pitcher, put the ball on the deck. Let's see what happens then.
Well, we talked a lot about the defense in this game already, just those little things that can make a big difference. Why don't you take us around the diamond and take a look at what it looks like. We've seen a lot of these images of these defenders here for the Magpies ready to roll.
Okay, so for the Magpies, the Hahndorf Magpies, it's Laurie Peters to James Harris, the famous James Harris. Alex Hopton is at first. Mark Cramp, the less than famous Mark Cramp, at second. Alex Fairley at third. Peter Fairley at shortstop. And the outfield from left to right, defending the deep, out on the green. Lockie Barham, Rick Klug, and another Scott Fairley. There's Fairleys everywhere. There's 5 of them connected with Hahndorf, and that's not a bad thing.
We've got the assistant coach, which is Pete Fairley's wife. So Peter will be playing shortstop, as you said, Lee. She'll be assisting the coaching. We've also got Joe Fairley, the statistician, and we run into a lesser-known Fairley, Nancy Fairley, who said we've got to mention her name because there's too many boys.
And I believe the dog Fido Fairy was going to take out the oranges
Watch
in
it at
between
home.
innings.
It should be a great contest for sure. And we just, we've talked a lot about Jared Farrell already, but the man we're about to see pitch right here, Laurie Peters, he's got a bit of swag about him as well too, doesn't he, Nick?
Doesn't he? Isn't he a good look? I actually had a quick look at his Facebook profile just to see if it had changed in the last 4 years, and it hasn't. Turns out he is from Camden in New South Wales, and he likes women. So he's got the chest wax, the button undone tonight. He is looking extremely slick. And let's hope he's looking fast enough to not let Cooper Goodman get a hit, who's going to be leading off for the Red Sox.
Well, it's going to mean that the pressure is certainly going to be on him too, on both the pitchers, really. I mean, it's always fun watching those games where those pitchers have tremendous amount of respect for each other. The pressure just ramps up when you know your opponent's not going to allow a lot on the other side.
And what about Gerald? Sorry to chip in. I'm just looking in there. He's growing a moustache. I believe Leah, his partner in crime, doesn't like it, but I think it looks terrific on Gerald.
He's got the chops.
Yeah, I think he might
perfection.
get a couple of extra Ks on his pitch.
Well, he's got all the fat shaved off those chops there. They are looking spectacular. He must have been to the barber. That doesn't look like his sort of handiwork.
I think so. He needs to keep going because they'll be open one day.
Speaking of respect, we've got the main man, Damien McCauley.
I will go through the umpires for you. On plate, it's Damien Baby Blue McCauley. At first base, it's Jackie, the sculptress crafter. And at third base, it's the Hoff, the great man himself, Hall of Famer Neville Lawrence.
Well, we're moments away from first pitch, and we are live on the Softball SA Facebook page, thanks to Spacequake Sports and MK Services SA for bringing you the coverage from wherever you are. It's getting a little bit chilly up in the hills, but thanks to MK Services SA, you're able to stay warm inside your home and enjoy all of the action of this grand final. We're moments away. It will be Laurie Peters in the circle, leading things off on the mound, or in the circle at least, defensively, and leading the charge for the Magpies. But Cooper Goodman is going to lead things off for the Red Sox, and what a young talent Cooper Goodman is.
Cooper is amazing, a massive, massive hitter, plenty of speed as well. He is a kid that's really got it all, and he's certainly going places. Well, look at that batting average as well. So he is certainly the man to be leading off this team and hopefully getting a hit.
With a batting average of 500, he can set the tone pretty early for the Red Sox. So it is the Red Sox, it is the Magpies, it is live thanks to MK Services SA and Spacequake Sports, and it's the grand final. The whole season amounts to this one game, and we're about to see the first pitch. Cooper Goodman, rising talent, not even rising anymore, he has risen.
He's here, he is here.
And Laurie Peters from New South Wales, now in SA, pitches for the state team, and he'll deliver the first pitch, and that zips in there for a strike.
And don't you like that when you're pitching? It's a grand final, your first one's down the middle, the batter just shoulders arms.
Cooper Goodman as well has that pretty strong on-base percentage, not just that 500 batting average, but he gets on base 63% of the time. It's getting on base 2 out of every 3 plate appearances. It's pretty incredible when you break it down like that.
Yeah, you'd take that batting lead off for sure.
And he swings at that one, and he chops one right off the middle. Job done from the leadoff, Cooper Goodman. He's making a push to second. He could be in some trouble.
He is.
And he is.
Big trouble.
Cooper Goodman leads things off with a hit. He tries to stretch it to 2, but Rick Klug zips that in there, and he's tagged out as he zips into second. So damage done and damage taken away.
Neville Lawrence, third base umpire, no hesitation in calling that one out at all. A really good hit. And following up here, we've got Harry Maderpat too, who can put a ball in play. So did he risk it all for nothing?
Yeah, well, time will tell, but
We saw
the Hoff, Neville Lawrence, right in the spot, wasn't he, to see that put out there at second?
Just saw in the MK Services SA replay just how tight that was. He might have been in time, but he was slid a little bit behind the bag, and he couldn't even quite reach in there. Harry May steps up, though. The May, another rising star in softball and part of the esteemed May family as well in the sport here.
Just swung at a high one before.
Drops down low. Now, Laurie Peters can mix things up. What sort of pitches does he have in his arsenal?
What doesn't he have? He's got everything. He's got the low lifters, he's got the curveball, he's got an amazing rise ball, which we saw right then. We knew that was coming. Chucked the rise, he's fouled it off, obviously, straight into the back fence, which is incredibly close. It feels a lot closer than at West Beach, our normal haunt.
That's mainly because it is. Harry May, Harry would Harry. We'll soon see on this pitch.
He's going to have to come around really early. He was a little late on the last one.
And he chops at that one. Laurie Peters scoops that one up and zips it over to first. He had a lot less time than it looked, but yeah, Alex Hopton takes that in, and that's the second one down.
Well, it's 2 chopper shots so far, isn't it? So interesting.
Well, Jared Farrell, pitcher-on-pitcher battle. He'll step up here to Jared Farrell. We talked about his batting, his pitching numbers, sorry, but with the bat, he's pretty dangerous as well, too.
He is incredible at snapping those arms and coming around. He's got a huge swing. Look at those levers. He is all over that box, too. You can put it anywhere, and he can touch it.
A .568 batting average. Leads the team in RBIs as well, too. He had 30 of them this year, and he didn't even play in every game.
That's unbelievable. His pitching stats, his batting stats, he is the handiest player out here, it's no doubt.
That's why he's on the national team. It's great that everybody at home can sit and watch this. This isn't just people playing a game of softball up in the hills. This is world-class talent right here in the grand final.
You got that right. It is brilliant.
Jared Farrell behind early in this one. These two will be revved up to face each other. This drops down low. We'll get into a little bit later on, and a little bit of bad blood between the two teams in the semifinal, resulting in some suspensions. So
yeah, there certainly was. We had club legends sitting on the bench tonight, Daniel Waters, and he won't be playing a couple of games next season either. That one coming off the light pole back into play.
Well, you see the power, and there's a car sitting right out there in left field that they might want to go and grab that car. And
yeah, well, I can see a couple of cannonballs going over to the pirate ship there at center left and sinking that boot that's open. So
that's not a bad thing. So it's pitcher against pitcher, and don't they love this situation? It's the moustache chops Farrell against Chesty Peters.
Well, we've got the hairy and the hairless.
2-2 count, 2 outs here in the top of the inning. And that one slips away, so it'll bring the count full, and so important to get that quick 1-2-3 inning and just get out of the most dangerous part of that lineup with Cooper Goodman and Jared Farrell, both with batting averages of 500 or above.
That was a big ball out of the zone. He knows he can't put it too close or Jared will touch it.
Well, ball 4, so Jared Farrell, who's already got a .674 on base percentage, will saunter down to first base. So they do have their first base runner with a batter at the plate. There was already a hit earlier in the game. That first batter, Cooper Goodman, tried to stretch it out to a double, was tagged out, but now his brother, Josh Goodman, will step up to the plate.
On that pitch must have been close because catcher Harris was halfway to the dugout.
Josh Goodman steps in here. He's got a runner on first, so a walk and a hit allowed in the first inning, and he takes a big leggy swing at that one.
That was a big swing. I always get these Goodmans confused. Is he the little one, the big one, or the older one? It's very hard to tell.
And he swings through that one again.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, he's not going down looking.
So quickly ahead, 0-2 for Laurie Peters on the mound for Hahndorf. Jared Farrell stands on first, trying to keep this scoreless in the very early stages of this game. Oh, just shot foul. He's a bit late on that one.
He was very late, but I tell you what it's done. It saved his at-bat. He gets another look at it, which is great.
Yes, with quality pitchers like Peters, you need to get as many looks as you can.
And I take it giving a guy who's hitting 4 in the lineup as many looks as possible isn't a great idea on the other side, but it doesn't matter because Laurie Peters gets his first strikeout of the game. So a little bit complicated. It wasn't that straightforward in the top half of the first here, but they're out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the first. It's no score.
Just as expected. Just as we predicted, it was going to be a very tight innings, but Laurie Peters had a few little hits off in those little chops. We had that the chopper from the first at bat, which was a really good lead-off bat, and just couldn't get to second in time.
Well, Lee, the Red Sox are about to take the field. They are led on in the circle there by Jared Farrell, but what about the team around him?
Right, they're defending the infield for the Red Sox. At first base, it's Luke Moyle. Across the diamond at third, it's Aaron Golder. And in the pivot positions, Dan Peterson at second, Dale Martin at short. Outfield from left to right, Keith Goodman, Harry May, Josh Goodman, the battery, Jared Farrell, to Cooper Goodman. And there's plenty of Goodmans around.
The Goodmans,
apart from us three, gentlemen.
They keep it close in the hills, don't they?
Yeah, well, good men are hard to find. I know where there's three sitting here.
And 105 in the warm-up, Jared, just to give you a kilometre update. 105 just as he's warming up. We're going to see some speed out of him, I'm sure. And it's a great time to just mention our sponsors. The major one, MK Services SA, is actually run by an umpire, Mike Bendel, and he has made tonight possible, the viewing of it, and we surely hope that we can come up here more often and certainly broadcast some good quality softball. But thank you very much to Mike. While we're in the hills, he builds safes for guns, so all of that, floor safes as well, doors and metal fabrication.
Well, the attack will start here from Hahndorf. They are the home team in this game, despite finishing lower in the standings in the regular season, but a dramatic semi-final win to earn their berth in the grand final has them batting second here. Jared Farrell getting to work right away. Gets his first strike in there.
Youngest fairly, Peter.
He goes through that one. He tried to hold off, and you can see him just grince a little bit there, and it's a 1-2 count. I don't think you want to fall behind this guy in the circle.
Look at his short hands now.
And
good
why?
Check. Good check that was.
When you say short hands, what do you mean, and why would they go choke up the bat there?
What he's done is he's just tried to make an adjustment here to have the bat already around, so it speeds up his hands and he gets a little chink like that off the bat, and all he's trying to do now is put a ball in play. He's had his swings for himself, and now he's trying to get on for the team. Pete Fairley, no slouch with the bat this year, batting average of 300, so certainly eligible to be up there leading off.
Well, he'd be batting lead off for a reason, wouldn't he? You don't just put people in there because of their name or because they turn up to practice early.
Unfortunately, though, for Pete Fairley, what just happened there might happen a lot to his teammates as well, too. Jared Farrell gets his first strikeout of the grand final. Well, from one Fairley to another, Scott Fairley steps up.
Let's hope they're not fairly consistent.
Oh.
I suppose if you hang with the greatest, you get to be smart as well. That's a classic case then.
Fairley hitting 404 on the season as well, an outfielder for this Magpies
team.
team.
404 for a number 2 hitter.
The Hahndorf Magpies looking to get in the lineup here. The first 7 batters in this lineup all hitting 300 or above. So it is a deep lineup, but that can only go so far when you've got a pitcher like Jared Farrell on the mound. That one zipped in at 116, and it was an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, certainly, and definitely dipping down a little there. So taking the speed right off it to throw Scott off. Scott is not the biggest fan of night games. He does predominantly best work during the day. He did mention before the game he's never been a fan of the lights. It does play a bit of havoc with his contacts, which he's opted to go for the glasses tonight instead, I noticed.
We have for every advantage to see any little thing he can versus Farrell, and there you go. That chops over to short. It's going to be a tough play over to first. You mentioned the key was getting a runner on base, and just in their second batter, Scott Fairley is aboard with a little chop to short that Dale Martin couldn't quite handle.
No, Dale Martin diving on it and did stop it, but not enough time certainly to get back up. Scott Fairley making no dramas in getting to first base there at a decent speed.
Well, the catcher, James Harris, steps up. He's hitting .410 on the season as well. He and Jared Farrell, great mates. This will be a fun battle for them with now a runner on base.
It's interesting setup, isn't it? Because they are great mates.
And James does do a lot of catching to Jared as well, so that's the other thing Jared knows, and Jared knows that James knows what he's got, so there's no tricks that he can't really pull.
No, that's right.
So James knows that Jared knows, but Jared knows that James knows that Jared knows.
Turns out they know.
So who knew first?
Well, I hope none of the nose are bleeding.
Either way, you can see him pitching pretty cautiously to James. He's a big bat in the lineup, and it's a 3-0 count, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Those walks are few and far between.
And I tell you what, it's not a bad result because James batting at .410, he's definitely the best hitter in the team. So giving him that base on ball, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Does put a runner in scoring position for Laurie Peters. He's hitting .333 on the year, .550 on base percentage, and he takes it in for a strike. Jared Farrell also, you notice him pretty quickly. He doesn't waste a lot of time between those pitches.
No, he's certainly turning around, leaving the batter little time to comprehend what's happening.
And he swings through that one, and that just dropped off at the end. Way off speed, too.
That was a pirouette.
Yeah, and he finished up facing the back net. Had he made contact, it's a long way to run around and up to first.
Well, it's a 3-pitch strikeout. It's his second one of the inning. And, you know, he pitches cautiously to James Harris, maybe seeing if he can chop one outside. Doesn't matter. He gets on base. He'll be replaced now as the designated runner as he is the catcher.
Jesse Voigt, who's come off the bench to run for James.
But that sets up Rick Klug with 2 outs. And a base hit you'd think would score a run.
Experienced player Rick, isn't he?
Just going to say, you've got a massive experience here in Rick Klug. Nearly, I think he's around mid-40s. State rep, Canberra national rep. He's done it all. He's amazing. And a very handy Masters player with the Man Angels too. So a valued member of that team.
Well, first pitch call on a strike there. Throw over to third. And he's called safe. So it will be Scott Fairley getting over to third, and it's a double steal as Voigt running in for James Harris gets over to second. So now it's 2 runners in scoring position, and it's a hitter's count at 2-1. But that drops in for a strike. So 2-2 count, 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. This is the best opportunity they have seen the Magpies.
Especially in this first innings, it'd be great to get a run.
This is hit over towards right field. Is it playable? And it's caught in right field by Josh Goodman. So a dangerous attack here. They were on the verge of getting the first earned run off Jared Farrell all season long, but it's danger avoided for the Red Sox in the field, and we're through 1 clean inning, but it was anything but simple.
We've seen 1 inning, and Hahndorf looking the goods so far. Just with that little bit of safety and running. Scott Fairley, what a beautiful steal to third base. Third base is a hard base to steal any day, especially on Cooper's arm as well. And he stolen that and slid perfectly to get around the tag. It was a beautiful slide. He's going to need new shoes. He's only got 3 stores to choose from, Scott Fairley.
Should get a decent discount. The Hahndorf, though, I bet Jared hasn't seen so many people on base early in the game against him like that.
Well, opponents are only batting 0.025. That's not 250. That's 25 is what people are batting off of them. So hits don't really happen against Jared Farrell. And the fact that they got 2 runners on is either a great sign of things to come for the Magpies, or maybe it suggests they've wasted their opportunities early. It's that fine of a margin with this guy.
Exactly right, Eric. I really couldn't see the field holding him for too much longer if they keep penetrating. That field have not had much work this year, literally, with those sort of stats.
And when you're in the field in a game like this, Nick, you haven't had many balls to field. You're thinking, when's the next one coming? When's the next one coming?
Yeah,
I've got to do something with it when I get it.
Dale Martin, the first one up to bat. Dale can hit a ball. He's great for the long ball. Just needs to get on base.
Laurie Peters, we'll see if he's settled in as well too. Both pitchers allowing a hit and a walk, interestingly enough, in the first inning as well. One was thrown out at second. Some nifty defense already.
they're certainly helping each other out with the stats. That one just too low.
You have to wonder, it is a grand final. Things are always a little bit nervy, especially in that first inning. You just want to get through that first one and get yourself into the game. Now they're in it. We'll see if they get the confidence rolling on both sides. Good pitch, Bo, just chopped away, 1-1 count.
You're going to get a lot of balls chopped to the pitches, chopped into the ground, I'd suggest.
Well, especially with these rotations, we're talking about this in warm-up. That ball is spinning furiously.
Yep.
Especially with Laurie, you watch as soon as it leaves his hand, that ball is turning, going up, and up it goes.
Just as you were describing it, it was perfect.
Yeah. You can see that. You could just pick his up ball there. Dale Martin not able to touch it.
No, the revolution's on the ball. Gee.
Oh, and he's got him with the same pitch just about.
You might be able to pick it up, but it doesn't mean that there's much you can do with it when it's coming in that quick and rising that quickly as well, too.
Exactly right. The speed of this game called Softball League.
Yep. Tell us something about Aaron Golder.
Aaron Golder is actually an in-law of Jared Farrell. He is married to Jared's sister, Amy, so big softball family.
Oh, okay.
This is chopped over towards first, easily handled there. Alex Hopton hops up.
Another chopper shot.
And grabs that one, and it's a quick out retire, just in a little chopper to third base.
Yeah, Aaron Golder obviously forced to play because the family was out here anyway. Thought he may as well come out and have a game. So.
Oh, okay. So that's good.
Well,
what's his strengths?
Jagging a hit, Jared said. I had a chat with him about most of the team beforehand, and he said he's great for a jaggy hit in a difficult situation.
Well, here's Keith Goodman up to the plate. Seems to be the Fairleys versus the Goodmans here. The Goodmans littered in this Red Sox lineup.
Keith Goodman looking more like John Goodman from Roseanne. He is a big man, and if he can get a hit, it's gone.
Yeah, he can swing it quite heavy. And you can see the big swing right there, and that chopped foul.
115 Ks off the bat. I dare say that was coming a little bit quicker at us. I'm glad I went to the toilet beforehand.
Right into the MK Services SA side.
Might have been a bit late on it, though, you think?
Just a little. And that's why the warm-up batter is so far away.
Oh, and he swings that one that was just way up, and he knows that that was one that you didn't want to swing at necessarily. But either way, it's the second strikeout of the inning. And after a complicated first digs, pitching for Laurie Peters, it's 2 strikeouts and an easy out at third, so he's settled.
It's on. Both
work.
pitches definitely settle. We will take some time just to mention a couple of the sponsors around the Adelaide Hills as well. The seasonal sponsors being the Courier newspaper. They are covering all the sport here, so that's where you get all the fabulous photos for the Hills residents. Sports Power Mount Barker as well. Hogan Insurance Solutions, general insurance brokers in Mount Barker. And City Discount Tyres have also gifted us a little bit of money as well to make tonight possible. So,
well done, Nick, and well done to the sponsors, because everybody needs sponsors. Everyone, associations, clubs appreciate the things they do for them.
Well, it really is a great community feel, and you can't have an event like this without the help of the community. So fantastic to see the sponsors step up and help keep this sport growing and thriving. And again, a big thanks to Spacequake Sports and MK Services SA for getting you the coverage so you can tune in if you're not part of the great community feel at the ground.
Speaking of stepping up, Mark Cramp.
Mark Cramp, one of our commentary team. Mark?
He's been a regular voice of summer, especially Wednesday nights. Jared not happy with that one. I could see that was very, very close and just too low for Damien McCauley to put the arm up and call that a strike.
Here's the pitch again, and he swings through that one, and that is just wicked, that pitch. Gets him to 2 strikes, so Mark Cramp will step out of the box and settle back in, just trying to get something back on base. They had 2 runners on, 2 in scoring position in the first inning, and
a massive change of pace, down from 116 Ks to 86 kilometres there. So Mark obviously too tempted.
And what a great pitch. I mean, when you throw 116, it's very hard for a batter to adjust.
That was beautiful. Back up to 117 Ks, just off the plate on the edge, but enough for Damien to give it the out.
Alex Fairley will come up to bat, hitting 368 on the year. It's a good bat to have sitting in the 7 hole.
Yeah, just as you mentioned before, the depth of the Hahndorf lineup does continue with a great average at number 7. So Alex hasn't had to spread out this order to get this. This is just a natural selection almost.
Well, he's trying to arrest the situation.
Well, he gets some contact on the first pitch. That's step 1.
Cop that, he says. Alex doing great community service work as a police officer.
Yes, I've seen him a few times, not on official duties. We've just shaken hands and said, how are you?
That one nice and low, didn't even tempt Alex, he knew. Straight out the hand, that one, he left it well alone.
Nice that you come in, Nick, on somebody else's coattails.
Just a little off there from Jared Farrell, so he falls behind in the battle here versus Alex Fairley. It's 2-1 count. Barely taking a couple pitches here. He chops that one foul as well, too. Again, just a little bit late on those pitches.
Yeah, they're needing to come around early. They've got this is their first at bat, don't forget this end of the lineup, so they are seeing it for the first time, and very slow on that one.
And again,
hit the glove on the outside. Again, enough for Damien. He will be calling incredibly consistently as he does, and well and truly grabbed enough of the plate for him to call it.
4 strikeouts from Jared Farrell now on the mound, and the last 2 have been looking just on that outside corner down low.
Well, tell us something, Nick, about Lockie.
Lockie Byram has been a state player, I do believe. So he has represented the state. He's a very quiet lad, likes to keep to himself. He's into a bit of motocross though. So hopefully he can ride one out.
Swings through that one is...
What's so funny?
You're going to say something, Lee.
I was going to say something, but the man on my immediate right.
Oh, don't tell me I
Otherwise,
stole your joke.
He has a half swing through that one. It doesn't matter. It's 3 strikeouts, 3 batters faced in this inning. It's 5 on the game so far. Jared Farrell rocking and rolling. Both pitchers, 1, 2, 3 innings. We're scoreless through 2.
Well, I remember saying a few years ago when you were under 16, Nicky, that I thought Nicky Green was a terrific fella. Now I'm having second thoughts.
Of course you are. Well, you've actually coached a lot of these boys, haven't you, Lee?
Oh, yes, just a few.
A lot of them.
Thanks for reminding me.
I think you've had all the Fairleys. You've certainly had myself.
James Dan Waters.
Well. Oh, the list continues.
One good thing, one bonus, I haven't had Mark Cramp.
Well, that is a bonus. No.
Or Eric Bolner, which...
I could use that. Well, they're all set to go here as we will begin the 3rd inning. Laurie Peters coming off a 1, 2, 3 inning. He struck out 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced and 3 on the game in total. Dan Peterson and Luke Moyle, the only 2 batters he hasn't faced. Then we'll get to see the lineup run through the second time. But Dan Peterson batting .250, the 8 and the 9 batters. Lots of times this is the part of the lineup that can win you the games, be those little differences in these big ones.
Certainly is. Yeah, Dan Peterson has got a lot of local experience. He certainly doesn't have the experience of the other lads. But we do have a state batter up next in Luke Moyle, so we might see something out of the number 9.
Good. That'll be handy for the top of the lineup. Cooper and Harry.
Laurie Peters leans back, steps in, and just floats this one a little bit too high. Had a bit of a drop at the end, couldn't find the strike zone. 1-1 count.
And it is, for the viewers out there, it is one fantastic night out here in the open.
Swings through that one. It's a couple times now the Red Sox have swung something up high.
Yeah, well, if you're going to miss it, you might as well miss it by a metre and a half. Because there's no shame in that.
That was a huge swing. I think Dan Peterson could be a good tennis player. And
strikeout number 4 from Laurie Peters. He's starting to find the groove as well, and both pitchers now finding that bottom part of the strike zone and just placing it oh so carefully right there.
Well, Nicky, you've pumped Luke up. Let's see if he can back up your confidence.
Yeah, well, as a junior, he's got plenty of experience, so he has faced Laurie a few times now. Let's see what he can do.
Luke Moyle chops that one foul. The lefty sticking in there.
And that's what it's about, Nick, isn't it? Facing pitchers of this quality, the more times you face them, the more confidence, self-confidence you get in your own
The
ability.
better you see them, the earlier you pick it up. That's
Yep.
exactly right, Lee. And this is what's so good about the competition now is the quality of pitches.
Slips up high in this one. That coming in at about 109 kilometers on the dial. 1-1 count.
This should be going close to the zone here. He'll be wanting to get back. And it is. Straight down the middle.
And umpire McCauley is one of the most consistent callers of balls and strikes that we've seen, I think. I'm sure of it.
Hence why he gets the big games.
Yeah, that's got some bearing on it, I would imagine.
1-2 count. And that one just slipped out of his hands. No need to make a tough call on that one behind the plate.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit chillier. I just noticed the temperature drop a little, so we might be seeing a little bit of dew on the ground. So the outfield especially are going to have to be careful. The infield, the ball's going to start skipping a little on this dewy ground.
You can see a bit of a glimmer in the grass as well. Tries to take a look at this one, but he just holds off, so he'll run the count full. He'll make Laurie Peters work for this one. Sent down the line over at third.
I think Damien knew he didn't go there as well.
Yeah.
But if he asks a question, he has to ask the umpire.
That's right,
so.
yeah.
And look at that short grip now. And there it is.
Just gets a bit of wood on it, but that's chopped foul.
It's
So it's a great at-bat from Luke Moyle. We're going to be running to pitch number 7 here.
But when you're batting here at 9, and you obviously can run quick, your job is to try and get the ball down. Don't overhit the ball. Leave that to the big man, you know. Don't go for the fence. Like you said, Nick, concentrate. Just trying to get bat on ball.
Yeah,
give yourself a
shorten that
chance
grip.
to run. Just
See
give
how
yourself a chance.
Well, he swings through that one. It's 3 straight strikeouts now for Laurie Peters, and it's 5 on the game as well, too. It's 10 strikeouts combined between the two pitchers, but he's run through the lineup so far. He's got through 8 outs by only facing 9 batters. He's got 5 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit. He's off to a good start that first time through.
You didn't know any better, Eric. You'd say it's a pitcher's game by the look of it.
Well, Cooper Goodman was the only one that has a hit for this Red Sox side. He led off the game with it. He just tried to stretch it out to a double, and he got tagged out. And a nice throw from Rick Klug at center field back in the first inning.
And wouldn't he like to get another shot up the middle here?
Wouldn't he like another chance at it, I'd say.
Yep.
And I think he wouldn't steal this time. I think he'd just stay at 1.
Swings through that one. It was a big swing as well, too, but Laurie Peters looking for strikeout 4 in a row, and 6 of 7 batters faced. Not even getting the ball in play anymore.
That certainly would have stayed hit too. That was a massive swing.
Just missed that one. But it's another big strike, too.
Well, he's not going to get that pitch again. I can tell you that.
He's going to have to make an adjustment here.
This is when I throw off pace.
Oh, and he just gets a hold of that one. That's
Yep.
chopped foul. You can see all the marquees lining the ground as well, too. Nice closed-in atmosphere here down in Mount.
Beautiful. It's lovely and close.
And
Close
come-
community, close
and-
ground.
Yeah, and come now with the one on the knees now.
You reckon the low one's coming?
Yeah, I think so. I think come down with the one on
He's
the
got
knees.
plenty of room to play with in this count, so
That's it.
Again, chopped foul, so he's making some contact, Cooper Goodman. He's one of the few in this lineup that's been able to do so.
it was a great call, Lee. It definitely was down. It was a little bit out and unable to put it anywhere.
Yeah, routine call.
Love the confidence. Speaking of confidence, he'd have to be feeling pretty good about this one. Still ahead.
Drops down low, but 2 foul balls has kept him in the at-bat, and it's going to even up the count. So Cooper Goodman really making him work. It's why he's got a .630 on-base percentage.
Yeah, went to the well once too often then, I think, didn't he, Harry? Laurie even.
Well, 2-2. He's still got room in this count to play with him, so he's still got a ball up his sleeve to possibly toss out, up or around. So we could see a little bit of playing around from Laurie. Try and make him swing here.
And that's exactly what he does. It's the 4th batter retired on strikes in a row. He strikes out the side. 7 straight retired for Laurie Peters with 6 strikeouts now on the game. It is still scoreless as we head to the bottom half of the third.
Looking forward to this because we're back at the top of the lineup here and we're getting people starting to see the picture for the second time now. So they've got the eye in, they've seen what's coming down, and hopefully they're getting closer to it.
Yes, that's 100% correct, to quote Mark Cramp's commentary. Nick, exactly right. The more you see of these pictures, the more you're going to get confidence. That's unless you've been blown away 3 out of 3.
Now we got the first base coming up, looking like Alex Hopton first off.
Okay.
Alex Hopton's been playing for Hahndorf for a lot of years, since a junior, since T-ball. He too has a family involved in softball, or did have, with his father playing Division 2, winning many premierships. And Alex, of course, out here all the time, may as well play.
Well, I think a lot of people, that's how we get a lot of people to our sport. They come out to see their children play or a friend, and oh, I like the look of this, and you know, sounds like the Pirates have rewound. Captain Driftwood, keep them under control.
Yeah, Captain Smoking Joe Harvey out there. They are not letting up. They've won the grand final. They're extremely happy. What was it, 11-0?
11-0, yes.
11.
Got their noses in front at the end.
Unbelievable.
Having 1 or 2 cold beverages out here on a chilly night.
They've been used to doing it from the hills. They'll be used to it. No stubby colas.
In there for a strike, Alex Hopton. Jared Farrell struck out the side, and Laurie Peters struck out the side. It's the last 6 batters we've actually just seen in general. 7, actually. Last 7 batters we've seen on both teams combined have all been down on strikes.
Yeah, what a great pitch that was.
That was a beautiful off-pacer, wasn't it? Just dropping in, and Alex even holding back, but it dropped in for a strike.
And the pitch we were talking about, Nick, it's the control he has, Jared, doesn't he? It's just second nature to him, throwing that.
It's the body as well, because it's very hard to pick what's coming. He makes a very good case of hiding his pitches, and he does it really well. And I dare say that's from his national experience, just not letting him get a glimpse of what you're going to be throwing. Yeah,
and you touched on it before, which was a very valid point, that he doesn't quick pitch, but he gets into his work quickly. I'm the batter, I'm pulling out, I'm making him wait for me, rather than the other way around.
Well, back to the top here, Peter Fowley.
Strikeout 6 so far for Jared Farrell, and we'll see if the top part of the lineup can start to reverse some of the fortunes. Peter Fairley struck out the first time, but the next 2, Scott Fairley and James Harris, both got on into scoring position. So,
well, it looks like Alex's pre-game interview chat is now starting to come true here. He's starting to play the short game. We saw Peter go down for a bunt and looking to just bump a ball in and put the pressure on the field.
Chopped foul just above the cages here. Peter Fairley, one of 5 Fairleys involved in this team, and more if you count the lot.
Well, there's now the next generation, so yeah, there's about 3 generations all out here.
Yeah, well, they've certainly got a shoe in the family.
Fairley knocks this over to short. Martin picks it up, throw across the diamond. He's out. Ooh. It was a close play.
That was a very close play.
It was a toss of a coin.
We'll see if we see anything on the MK Services SA replay.
Can't wait to see this, because Dale Martin did seem to take a bit of time to come up with the ball there. Again, stunned that there was a hit. Oh, wow.
That is...
Jackie.
That is close. It looked like on the replay that Peter Fairley might have reached just in time there, but
just couldn't see the tap of the base with the toe due to the...
This is chopped again. It's a roll over to third. It's a tight play across the diamond. They won't even make one. Bobbled a bit, so Scott Fairley gets aboard with another infield hit. He had one over to short before, and that one's to third.
Look at that. Aaron Golden leaving that ball and letting it go foul. Oh. What a great plan.
Yes, very
That's
good.
What it was here. We'll take a look at the MK Services SA replay. And that did not touch him. That went right between his legs. He just pulled the glove up a little bit.
Did he miss that deliberately, or was that a mistake? I'm not sure. Was that an error?
Either way, he's sort of smiling a little bit. I would suggest something different, but you can see it on the MK Services SA replay that he just sort of lifted up at the last second, and it worked out for the better.
Jared said he was good at jagging things, so that might be just part of it. Maybe he's fielding as well.
There's a look at it right there. Just, oh, I don't know. It's either way, it's foul. We'll leave it at that, and that's chopped foul as well, too.
That has gone right into the snake pit, which they'd be all hiding tonight because the temperature is certainly getting down and the season changing because obviously we're up to football season already. So
well, they say the Eastern Browns come out when it's 23 degrees and up. So we won't see them, as you said.
This is hit down the line. Is this going to drop?
That's
and
dropped.
It does. That one's going to stay fair. Runner pushing for 3. Is he going to get in there? Fairley stops there, and it's Scott Fairley with a triple. He had a single earlier, and Scott Fairley, for the second time today, will be standing on third, so close to that first run of the game.
What a great little play. It was a little bit late, that hit, but just perfect and out of reach for the young Goodman. See there, he just couldn't get there. He knew it too. He knew he was going to miss that, and he's had to turn back around and throw blindly and hope that he wasn't at home already.
And if Brother Peter had been given safe at first, there would have been our first run of the ball game.
Great angle here
Exactly.
on the MK Services SA replay. You can see it just drop down, and Goodman bobbled it just a little, but the runner gets to third, so James Harris has an opportunity to drive in the first run. And again, they're pitching him cautiously.
They certainly will. They're going to pitch all around him.
He's caught Jared so many times, James, at state, that he knows what's coming.
It's been now 6 straight balls thrown against James Harris so far.
But as you said, sorry, Eric, as you said, Nick, before, that walking James is no big deal because you get to Laurie.
He gets to Laurie, and
Laurie
didn't look like touching him.
Well, he had to wait for the music before he started dancing his previous turn at bat.
He was great at spinning around, and he does walk him.
I tell you, I got giddy watching.
Another 4-pitch walk, so it's runners on the corners for Laurie Peters, who had a 3-pitch strikeout the last time he was up to bat. But he does have a .333 batting average.
Jesse Voigt coming off the bench again to run for James Harris, so I'm wondering what Alex Fairley's going to do here. We've got a 1-3. I wonder if he's going to put the pressure on and steal like he said.
Throws that in. You can see the difference between pitching to James and now going back to Laurie. It's just attack, attack, attack.
At him, at him, at him. Exactly right, Eric.
0-1 count. That one slips up high. It's a 1-1.
And Laurie just walking down the box there to cut out some of that, not only the up, but the speed as well, just to get a bit closer.
Yeah.
Maybe put Jared off a little.
Just outside. Runner going to second. They'll slide in there, and he's out. So caught stealing. They're not even going to let him have a swing at it. Well, there's a runner standing on third. Interesting decision.
Can you be too aggressive? Is that what Alex has done here? Has he tried to steal the wrong runner maybe? Jesse Voigt looking well behind that, not even getting to the base on that slide. So
Nick, it's one of those things where this is such a tight game and it's a pitcher's duel that runner might not even matter. It might just be one run that makes the difference in this game. That's how it feels. So to me, it's almost, you gotta worry about getting that guy over at home at third.
exactly right. Just a tap in the field there, put the pressure back on the field to make the play, and that's what it's all about, is getting them to make a play, because that way you can make an error. You can't make an error on that because that was a routine play, that one. That was a very good throw, obviously, from Cooper behind the plate.
Yeah, you saw in the MK Services SA replay, and you'll see it again right here. He's not even close.
It was a waste, wasn't it?
Certainly. Well, that could be one that Alex comes to regret if this goes to a tiebreaker, which we've all predicted, all three of us, predicted a pitcher's game and a tiebreaker, so no runs till 7 innings.
Well, it looked as if Jesse was unsure whether he was supposed to run or not, to me, because he certainly wasn't hightailing it down there.
No, well, as I said, I'm not sure he's the quickest runner to actually place out there, and at this sort of time of the game, it does warrant some experience, some speed. That certainly would have helped.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they've had runners in scoring position for 3 different at-bats now and have not been able to come up with a hit to bring them home.
Laurie Peters, that chest is going to be cold. It's freshly waxed and shining through.
Harry May, rising star of the game. He steps in. What do we know about Harry May?
Just waiting for that pitch there to see what he did there. I thought he might have gone out and had a go, because Laurie does like throwing a strike, getting a strike on his first pitch. Harry May, state player, great little pitcher. Left Hahndorf not too long ago. And only about 3 seasons ago now to be a bit closer to Jared, because Harry is a pitcher, so it made sense to obviously go over and get plenty of...
Well, I'll tell you what, Jared Farrell is pitching today, and that's the right call. He's pitched 35 innings in the year, hasn't allowed a run. However, Harry May has been the pitcher for the bulk of the year with 59 innings pitched during the season, and he has had some spectacular numbers of his own.
A massive amount of work, and did he go there?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
So that is now 5 straight strikeouts and 7 on the day for Laurie Peters, and Jared Farrell's been on base with a walk earlier in this one. They pitched him cautiously. We'll see if they do the same thing, similar to what Jared was doing to James Harris.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want him getting a hit because it's a big hit if it comes off.
One swing of the bat from this guy, and it could be a 1-0 game. And again, a bit cautious. He's not going to be too aggressive here.
Exactly right. We just saw a little slower up ball there, just out of the zone, going nowhere near it.
Against a guy like Jared, sometimes if you throw fire, you might set something on fire.
Yeah, I think if they had 2 down, I think they would just pass him up, wouldn't they? Just throw around him.
Exactly right.
Don't take a chance with him.
Still
just play the percentages.
Still not taking too many, although Jared chops through that one.
That was
foul.
in there. That was a fast down ball, and Jared just getting enough on that to send it foul, but that was definitely in the zone. So he was throwing it. It was low, but as you can see with those levers, Jared can fish a ball out from anywhere.
2 balls, 1 strike on Jared Farrell. Watches that outside, just nibbling the corners.
Yep. Yeah.
He'll be getting desperate for a hit too, Jared. He doesn't like not getting a hit, and he hates being walked. So he'll be looking, he'll be sniffing.
Well, he gets on base. Feels like every time, and there he goes. He's 2 for 2 getting on base today, both of them with walks, and that'll leave Josh Goodman, the cleanup hitter, to try to bring him around.
An extremely disciplined at bat there from Jared. That was great, just holding back on that ball. You could see that he can see it clearly. He knows where it's going and held right back.
I think catcher Harris wasn't over impressed.
It breaks up a run of 5 straight strikeouts that Laurie Peters had thrown. 7 on the day. He's allowed 2 walks and a hit.
And we got Josh, who just missed that ball at right field in the last dig, and saw Scott Fairley get to third.
He is all over the plate right now, too.
Luckily, with Scott Fairley not scoring, little Goodman's got nothing to make up for here.
And Josh Goodman showing something a little bit different there. Just trying to bring the batter, you think, over to second?
Yeah, just trying to drag the ball down on the ground, give the runner a chance to run.
The bunt is the right play here, obviously, to sacrifice to get the runner to 2, which they need a runner in scoring position.
Haven't had one today, and Josh Goodman swings through that one, and it's strikeout number 8, and we're just in inning number 4.
And the problem comes when you're a big, powerful hitter, getting them to bunt is foreign to them, really, because that's not what they do a lot of.
It's not what they practice,
That's right,
certainly,
yeah.
Lee. You got that right.
Dale Martin steps up to bat.
Dale Martin with his Nan Angels helmet on.
Just batting 182 on the year, but he has got on base at a 373 clip.
And he can hit the ball too.
Yeah, he's a big hitter, massive hitter of the ball. When he's on, he's on. And Jared did say, look, he's been in a bit of a slump. He did have a really good semi-final, but the prelim wasn't flash. So he's been a bit up and down, and that's what the stats are showing too. The numbers don't lie.
And a right throw over to second, and sliding in there is Farrell. He's safe, so for the first time today, the Red Sox have a runner in scoring position. So let's see what Dale Martin can get this ball to the outfield and find some grass. This could be a 1-0 game, and that might be all they need, believe it or not.
Yeah, we got the outfielders certainly haven't had much work. Rick Klug, the only one to get in the game so far for Hahndorf.
And he did a good job already throwing out a runner at second.
But a miss hit here in the into the outfield will score.
An incredibly smooth ball there, just a bit inside, a little bit low. Certainly not what Dale's looking for. A big hitter is looking for something up, a little bit out, something that they can get their levers right onto.
2-1 count. big pitch coming through there for Laurie Peters. He's got it to a 2-2 count.
Dale knew that too. He needed to hit that one. That was in his zone. That was in his hitting zone.
Can he afford to throw it up here with a runner at second? Maybe not.
He's going to have to keep it tight, the pitching. He doesn't want James chasing another ball.
This is chopped, and that's going to get over. Jared Farrell turning around third. There won't be a play at home, and the Red Sox have the first run of the game. Dale Martin with 2 outs and 2 strikes has chopped one to the outfield, and he breaks the slump in a big way.
What a little hit from Dale. That was all he needed to do. That's just bounced out slowly. It split the gap. It was a perfect little hit. It was just what was needed to score Jared, and it was a perfect pace so that Hopton out there, or Scott Fairley, I think it is. I can't see that far. It's getting dark, and he couldn't make a play in the end. It just rolled out too slow.
Yeah, like we said at the start, the bounce shot is a weapon, isn't it? Because that's what it did, bounced over the infield.
You can see that shot on the MK Services SA replay. Here it is right here again. Just that little chop, and that went high on the ground. And there, you know what? Jared Farrell, he gets a walk just by being Jared Farrell and them not wanting to get a shot. It's a free person to get on base, and it's dangerous because one hit.
Yep.
Exactly. You could have given Jared the hit now. It wouldn't have mattered. So, Aaron, as we heard before, great at jagging a hit in difficult situations. Can he do it again? Oh, not with that swing.
Well, Laurie threw a rise, and that's how he got into second, Jared, and eventually scored from there. But so I think Laurie kept out of the rise then.
Well, there's a take a look at the
replay.
replay.
Repeat performance.
Take a look at that too. The ball on that RBI, he barely hit the ball outside the batter's box, but it took a big enough hop to get to the outfield, and that's the story so far. It's a game of small margins, and you look back at the last inning, there was 2 runners in scoring position. You had Harris and Fairley at first and third, and Laurie Peters up to bat. They didn't even let him get a chance to swing the ball, and the difference right now is magnified big time.
Exactly right. Yep. This has got to be a good sign for Red Sox now. It's going to take a little bit of pressure off of Jared. It's going to mean he can relax and start to get a little bit inventive and creative, which he can do so well with the ball. He is amazing at changing things up and bringing balls from nowhere. He's got a pitch called a low lifter. He's got a slider. He's got everything. It's a full bag of tricks.
Yeah, and it's just playing the percentages, isn't it? Taking your opportunities. Hahndorf haven't yet. The game's got a long way to go yet.
Yeah, 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position on the day. Meanwhile, on the other side, they're at a 1 for 1. But here we go, Laurie Peters. We start the inning right where we left off, and this is chopped foul.
That was a massive crack of the bat. That was a big swing, a big hit. He really wants a piece here.
I've heard of giving the ball a bit of air, but that's ridiculous.
This one just outside, so Laurie Peters, I mean, how much are you kicking yourself if he comes through with a hit here, too?
Exactly right. He's got his New South Wales helmet on.
Moved over here, and Laurie Peters zips one through to the outfield. This is going to get to the wall. Peters is going to second. He's flying around second. He's going to third, and it's a lead-off triple from Laurie Peters. And had that been the last inning, it would have scored 2.
Well, Alex would be kicking himself now, definitely, after that hit. That was all that was needed. As we said, he's had a couple of looks at it now. He's seen the pitching, and Laurie, when he's on, he can really hit, as we saw. It took no time at all to get out to the fence.
I think that was the first one that wasn't a chopper. You can see that on the MK Services SA replay. That was just laser beamed right through the gap between Harry May and Josh Goodman in the outfield, and he stumbled even around second, but he was just flying. Take a look at him running here.
If he had that top button done up, he may have ran faster.
Right there's the stumble.
A little bit of wind drag there. Lucky he shaved the chest. We've got Rick Klug in the box.
I tell you what, that was the shot of the match so far, wasn't it? It was going.
Jared Farrell with 6 strikeouts, and we're just in the 4th inning so far. So he's a person that could strike out the next 3. But what are you playing here? Are you trying to bunt? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, he's trying to put a ball in play. What he's probably trying to do is bunt, get Jared to make the play at first, and get Laurie to run.
That's squeeze.
That's squeeze. It's as simple as that. As simple as that.
Well, if you're going to play a squeeze, you've got to make contact with the ball, because otherwise the runner will be coming.
And he makes contact, but it's right at the end of the bat, and it's foul.
And Jared's a wake up to this too, because they were identical pitches, those two.
This is the problem with playing the short play, and I actually had this discussion with Alex. Jared is probably one of the best fielders at his own pitching.
Yep.
He is amazing.
He's quick off the mark, isn't he?
I used to call him the shark navigator. He just goes around, vacuums it all up, sharks everything, throws it to first. And it's an incredible routine play he makes.
Holds off that one. That one's outside. So they've had opportunities. They've got a runner to third on 2 different occasions today. 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position, and you can make it 0 for 4. It's strikeout number 7 for Jared Farrell.
That ball just coming in very slow, about 85 kilometers that's hit at.
Mark Cramp comes to the plate. He struck out looking on those pitches. He had a nice little sequence in the second inning, Jared Farrell, where he was just catching the bottom part of the zone, and he got a couple batters looking, and he swings through that one.
Oh, Mike not happy with that. You can see him getting a little bit
I've heard
frustrated.
about keeping your head still.
That Nan Angel's helmet was looking at the sky.
Another strike. That's 2 strikes. Mark Cramp doesn't like that one.
Oh, he's certainly saying something to himself there. It's probably, Mark, you idiot.
The problem is when you get a call you didn't like, you swing.
And he swings through that one just on schedule, Lee Hole. That one was down in the dirt. Jared Farrell knew that. You knew that. We all knew that. And it's 8 strikeouts.
The predictor Hull.
Well, it's basic stuff, isn't it? You know, you get a call you don't like, you think, I've got to swing at the next one no matter where.
Well, the Magpies, they've been knocking at the door all game long, but they haven't been able to bang it down. They've got a runner on third with nobody out, and just like that, it's 2 outs. Runner still on third.
We can't take anything away from Alex Fairley, the head coach. There's a bit of pressure on him to score this run, of course, and he is one of the, well, he's the second best batter in the side.
And he chops this one to second. Picked up by Martin. Throw to first. Out. They put the ball in play. That might have scored the run if that happened the batter before, but instead, for the 3rd inning of 4, the runner will be stranded at third.
Well, Alex Fairley will be hating this replay when he saw what happened with Laurie Peters there coming up and smacking that massive hit to the outfield and getting all the way to 3. They could have done with that in the last innings.
Such small margins. If you hadn't sent that runner in the last inning, it would be a 2-1 game right now instead of a 1-0 deficit they're facing.
Yeah, it's you just want to get the ball in the play, don't you, really? Well, he got the ball in the play then, but it was an easy out. So not much you could do about it.
The bench is going for a little bit of a run, staying warm. I'm not sure if they're thinking of making any changes there in the outfield, but those bench runners must be getting a little bit cold because that temperature has certainly cooled down here.
Yeah,
it's,
she is a bit cooler now.
Up in the Adelaide Hills.
Well, we head to the 5th inning. Keith Goodman, Dan Peterson, and Luke Moyle. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout their first time around, but it is their second time around, which means they might be seeing something a little different.
Yeah, batter 7, 8, and 9. Then we're at the top again with Cooper Goodman.
Well, I can't wait to see what Daddy Goodman's got in store. Can he be the first one to get off and running and get a safe hit?
On the day so far, there's been 2 hits in the ball game. One was a leadoff hit from Cooper Goodman. The other one was with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And Dale Martin, the difference maker in this game, scoring Jared Farrell. And now they're running out of time. The Hahndorf Magpies, they've got 3 innings to make this up.
Exactly right. Still, despite this cooler weather, plenty of crowd members here, all lining the fence, the car park, everywhere. It's great to see.
Well, Keith Goodman settles in, batting .311 on the season, 1 strikeout in this game. And he chops that one foul. They're swinging a little earlier in counts.
Another one, another late foul. He did get a late hit the last innings as well, so he's definitely going to right field.
Well, 3-11's not bad for a number 7 hitter, I would suggest. You'd take that any day, wouldn't you, if you were batting 7? I know you never did, Nick, bat that low.
Swings through that one, 0-2 count, so he's behind early.
Taking the pressure right off of Laurie Peters here for this now. He can pretty much do what he wants. No runners on.
Going just a little bit high, out of control there.
Yeah, he can do what he wants, but it's he's probably going to beat Keith anyway. He knows that.
Yep.
Well, he gets some swinging there for the second time today. It's double-digit strikeouts.
That ball had a huge amount of rotation. That was amazing. That was a beautiful little curve. Keith, nowhere near it. And it brings up Dan Peterson. So we saw him last time swinging at a few high balls. James will know this. I dare say we might have a low ball plus some high rises pretty early in the count.
He's a pretty good game caller, James Harris.
There it is. High in the zone, but he left it. Yeah, you're exactly right, Eric. He's one of the more experienced game callers that we have in softball, SA and men's, that's for sure.
One chop foul, so there's the first strike on him.
I don't think you have to be too fancy, do you, when you're pitching to 7, 8, and 9, surely?
Well, you don't want to take any chances.
No, no, you don't. But, I mean, you're not going to just slot something up they can put to the fence.
Well, there's their low ball. He hangs off of that one. Not tasty enough to have a swing there.
Yeah, Dan being very disciplined compared to last time. This is a completely different at bat to what we saw in the other innings.
Gets a swing through that one, so it's second strike brought up. Dan Peterson, 2-2 count. 10 strikeouts already on the day and counting for Laurie Peters. It was that walk and the hit in the last inning that caused the difference, and he's ringing the count full, so Laurie Peters battling a little more. He went through a stretch where he struck out 5 in a row.
This is a very good turn at bat for this man, isn't it?
Compared to the last one, Lee,
Yep.
exactly right.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
same
amazing.
with Laurie when he batted, compared with his first turn at bat.
And he swings through that one, so strikeout number 11.
Dan Peterson just trying to probably chop that one down.
Yeah, that's what he was doing, the chopper shot,
The
but
chop shot.
not making contact.
Luke
Brings
Moyle.
up Moyle with the experience, and we saw him get a little chop last time too, so what can he do here in the fourth?
What a pitch in there, 117 kilometers an hour.
You could hear it, couldn't you, when it hit catcher Harris's glove. It had some heat on it.
Yep, that had more slap than a German slap dancer in Hahndorf.
Oh, okay. Bit too cold a night for that, I think.
0-2 count. Trying to get out of the inning and strike out the side. Looking for it.
Ooh.
He was ready to walk off, and he was, but he's got to go back.
You can tell when he's not happy. He takes that
Yeah,
time
yeah.
just to say, hang on, Damo. Was that not a strike?
Yeah, and been banging the glove right after there too, James Harris. 1-2 count.
The short grip again from Moyle.
Chopped foul, so he's staying in the at-bat.
Pays off, nearly taking out the Spacequake cameraman, bringing us all that great footage.
There you go, Jonathan on the camera getting involved.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the hand he normally throws with. I hope not.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up here for Luke Moyle. It's been a straightforward inning with 2 strikeouts, but they've been hard to work.
That's a good
2-2
eye.
count.
You see his feet here. He's changed his stance as well. He's changed his grip. What he's trying to do is open himself up, see as much of the ball as possible, and get his hands already around so that bat just has to touch the ball.
And he looks very comfortable in the batting
Extremely comfortable.
box. Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
be getting a little bit nervous now with the 2-2. Laurie's still got a pitch to play with. That's always a dangerous area, and he will be looking to hold off. But anything close, he knows he's got to go.
I think I'd throw it up now. There's nobody on base.
Throw it up. What, you're sick of us already?
Luke Moyle fell behind 0-2 early, but he's battled his way back into a position where he can make something happen. But he's not going to. He's going to look at that one. It's a strikeout of the side. 12 strikeouts in 5 innings so far. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and time is running out for Hahndorf.
9, Luke Moyle just leaving that one sit there. He won't be happy with that at all.
Well, let's. It's another great broadcast here, thanks to Spacequake Sports and MK Services SA. But of course, this is impossible. The whole season's not possible with a few of our other sponsors.
Exactly right. IC Computing gave a fair bit of money towards this tonight as well. The Encounter Financial Group Services as well, or Encounter Group Financial Services. They're offering estate and business planning at number 3, Alexandrina Road, Mount Barker, and Adelaide Hills Higher. They actually gave the scissor lifts for tonight to get all of this live broadcast from a height which we can't really have without, because we need to be looking down at all this great play and these 2 great pitches. So 9 Oborne Road in Mount Barker is Adelaide Hills Higher, and they're open 7 days a week.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic shots from Spacequake on those scissor lifts, brought to you by that sponsor right there.
Yeah, so when you get the chance there, you Hills people, or anybody that comes up the Hills, utilise the sponsors. Give back, because they certainly give to this association.
They certainly have, whether it be cash or goods. But speaking of goods, what can Lockie Barham do? Can he give us some goods here?
Well, can we get another player in the black and white Guernsey on third base?
Yeah, they've been there 3 times and been left there 3 times in the 4 innings that have been played so far. They've had some opportunities, but they've all gone begging, and that's a swing that you'd like to have back.
Well, you're committed, aren't you? We've seen a lot of them. Jared's thrown a lot of them.
He went too far, couldn't pull out of that.
And is that just keeping them off balance, these batters?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
He swings through that. There's another strikeout. 9 on the day.
Unfortunately, couldn't get the bat around to that. That just came too quickly. That's what we were talking about before, with Jared setting up really fast, giving the bat a little time. And if you're not experienced and you don't know that you can actually say, hang on, hold the phone there, he will just get rung up every single time. Lockie not taking his time with that.
Alex Hopton up to the bat here. He's hitting 259 in the year. He struck out the last time he was going. But after this batter, we're going to get our 3rd time through the lineup.
Two safe hits to each side.
That was a big swing. Alex Hopton loves a bit of winter ball, so he loves playing baseball, and he's certainly been training for that already. As
the Adelaide University, is it?
Adelaide Uni, yeah.
Adelaide Uni. Well, he certainly have an eye for the game, wouldn't he?
Definitely. It's not coming from a height, but it's coming pretty bloody quick, I'll tell you that.
Swings through that one as well.
I tell you what, that pitch is an absolute gem tonight, isn't it?
How was that? Just dropping the speed back to 89 instead of over 100 Ks there, Jared.
And Hopton swings through that one, so Jared Farrell just mowing through the lineup right now. He's up to 10 strikeouts on the day. Of course, already we're up to 12 strikeouts from Laurie Peters, but that's 22 strikeouts, and we're not even through 5 innings between the 2 of them.
Well, we mentioned at the start, didn't we? Revolves around the 2 pitches, and that's exactly what's happened.
Certainly not surprised. Peter Fairley steps up to bat. He grounded out the last time. Struck out in the 1st inning, but this is the 3rd time through. What does that mean?
Yeah, that means Pete Fairley really should be getting a leadoff hit now. This is where we're up to. Exactly right. This is his 3rd at-bat, so he should be seeing it pretty well.
Well, his brother Scott has done very well batting in the 2 spot, so he'd love to see Peter out there, wouldn't he, on base?
Oh, he'd certainly love to. Just swinging at that one, a little bit of a cricket shot there. I don't think he really wanted it, but had to commit.
I think he might have been better with a shovel than the bats.
Maybe a wedge or a 9.
Chops this one right back to the pitcher. Scooped up by Farrell. Underhand to first, so it's not a strikeout, but it's an out either way.
He is the best at fielding his own pitching. He loves it.
Through 5 innings, it's 1-0 for the Red Sox.
Yes, Jared, it's because of his athleticism, isn't it? He's just,
well,
he's another fielder.
He's had to work at that, Lee, don't forget. When he was younger, he was a little bit awkward. He was growing faster than what his body allowed for, and he certainly wasn't fast. He certainly wasn't flexible, and he wasn't even a pitcher. But he's worked extremely hard to get where he is, and it shows what you can do with a bit of hard work.
And that's
and
what
dedication.
you get for what you put in.
Exactly
Nick, don't
right.
you know.
I came out one season, he was doing nothing just in the field, and the next season he was starting to pitch, and it didn't take long for him to turn himself into what he is today, which is a national player.
Yep.
Well, we talked a little bit about the value of going through the lineup for the 3rd time, and we're straight back up to the leadoff man, Cooper Goodman, followed, of course, by Harry May and Jared Farrell This is a meaty part of the lineup, and it might be the last time they have to deal with them today. It's the third time going through, and if they can get a runner on and get that to Farrell and Goodman, that could spell trouble and maybe lights out here for the Hahndorf Magpies.
Exactly right, Eric. As we saw before, Pete Fairley having his next look and going down, and Cooper Goodman, it's about time he got another hit.
Yeah, Cooper Goodman had that leadoff hit. What could have been if he had just held off at first. Either way, they do have the one run. Jared Farrell was walked twice.
Well, it's a penultimate innings, the second to last innings, and dare I say, Hahndorf need to be really tight here.
Yeah, especially that dew in the outfield is going to be thickening up. It's going to be wet. It's going to be slippery. And shaping for a short play here.
Cooper Goodman just blocking the plate a little bit, pulls it off, and he gets a ball. Only the 2 walks on the day, both to Jared Farrell, and one eventually scored. Red Sox tried to threaten early. They got that first hit, but they were thrown out, and then it was in cruise control for Laurie Peters. At one point, he struck out 5 in a row until he semi-intentionally walked. He carefully walked Jared Farrell, and with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 4th inning, Dale Martin drove one home.
That was a big drop ball. That was fast, that was low, and man did that drop, and it got nowhere near his bat in the end.
Well, he was working on the 2-0 count, wasn't he, Cooper? He thought, I'm going to have a dip at this one. It's a free hit.
Holds off on, no, it's called a strike. So it's going to make the count to 2. Cooper Goodman.
Cooper's got to remember how tall he is.
Yeah, it's bigger strike zone.
Bigger strike, he is a large man.
Cooper Goodman just looking to get a crack of the bat here, and he just stays alive here. It's going to be called a drop, third strike, throw over to first. They got him. I wasn't too sure if he got a piece of that on the hit. It was pretty tight either way. It might have just got the top of the glove. Either way, he's retired on a 3rd strike throw out.
That was a routine play from James Harris, but it was still made with some veracity and a very safe glove from Hopton there at first. So a very easy play in the end.
Yeah, good work from James Harris zipping that down there. So it will be the 13th strikeout on the drop, 3rd strike.
Yep.
From Laurie.
Yeah.
That's 5 in a row once again. Harry May, let's see if he can get on base. Watches that first strike.
I tell you what, it was a case of the backstop being closer, wasn't it?
Well, we won't take anything away from James's agility.
No, it was.
No, he was all over that. We were talking about the broadcast before. I brought that up, and I said, hey, guys, doesn't this backstop seem a little close? And you said, but you watch James. He's quick off the mark. He's right on it anytime anything gets by.
All over it like a cheap suit.
Inside, Harry May staying in the at-bat.
James taking some time out here to chat to Laurie.
No.
They haven't had a timeout yet.
No, he's saying, come on.
He's saying, come on, Laurie.
Tell him, Laurie, it's not about you, it's about me.
This is resetting, getting on the same page.
They obviously don't want to give up a hit here. Harry May has been hitting incredibly well this season, so certainly don't want to be giving up one now. They need to put him away.
And Harry May, you can see the eyes that he has. He chops that well foul over to the right side.
Incredible hand-eye coordination, Harry. It's very good. Comes from good stock. Father's a great golfer.
Sister plays as well, too.
Yep, she was playing in the grand final before.
And Harry May slaps this one over to the right side. It was tried to be grabbed there by Jared Farrell with that right hand. He's got to be careful with that hand.
Yeah, that is his spin finger.
Yes, I don't think on a cold night you should be putting your pitching hand at it.
Well, judging by that haircut, he's not the smartest man. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Look at those chops.
That drops in there. It's strikeout number 14.
What an
from
edge.
Laurie Peters. He's gone 6 in a row. And Jared Farrell, he broke up a streak last time and later scored. He's got 2 walks and a run, the only run of the ball game, and he'll step up to bat what might be the final time for him of the season.
Yeah, exactly right. And as I said before, he's 1 run up. He will be looking to hit now. You watch this. He will be swinging this time.
Does he expand his own strike zone and hitting zone?
Well, he can't expand it that far. That was up and out, and they obviously don't want another run scored.
Again, they're being very careful.
And left fielder Laurie Lockie Barham is out there with the Pirates out in the deep.
Swings through that, though. That was the first time we've seen a big swing through there.
He does want to hit. He
does want to hit, but I think Laurie's not going to walk him this time.
Big battle. The 2 state pitchers going head-to-head, but Jared Farrell, what a hitter he is. That one just a bit up high. Batting .568 on the year. He's got 30 RBIs, and swinging the bat can be a home run and an RBI.
Yeah, 107, that one. It sounded quicker than that when it hit Harris's glove.
Inside, that was hard as well, too, 110.
Yeah, he's still going around the zone, giving him nothing good to hit.
No.
That was good. That was good. Jared will be disappointed he left that, but it was a bit off pace. He noticed he did do something different there.
He looked as if he was going to leave it right from the start.
Exactly right.
Right down King William Street. Jared Farrell, 2-2 count. We'll see if he gets something here. And he just stays alive.
Oh, that was tight. That was tight. That was up and in there, so we saw Jared's hands just get a little bit cramped, and he couldn't get the bat around in time. And here he goes again, 3-2. It's a hitter's count here. He knows it's going to be around. And it's out, so they deliberately walked him there, not giving him a chance to snap a hit.
Last time they did that, though, he scored a run, and maybe a Josh Good. Jared Farrell can fly, don't forget, so hit to the outfield here from Josh Goodman, who has struck out twice. Might just be that insurance they need.
Exactly right. He can hit a ball. So
the difference this innings is there's 2 out.
Yes, that is
1 out before. So
yeah, they're not giving them the same chance to advance the runner as they had before. But last time it was with 2 outs because Josh Goodman struck out, and Dale Martin stepped up and delivered a 2-out RBI, and Jared Farrell just flew around the bases and scored.
That was a big swing from Josh, and
Joshy,
unfortunately a bit behind. Left one right down the middle there.
Well, I tell you what, he's going the big dip here. This is probably going to be his biggest swing, Nick.
Exactly. Well, the Pirates haven't had much ball action.
And he swings at that one, and that's off the backstop. Harris, throw down the line, and on the money, James Harris. So
2 great throws by Harris.
That retires the side. We are going to go to the bottom of the 6th with time running out, and look, we don't have much time left in the game. That's where the conversation's going to start coming, who your MK Services SA player of the game is. MK Services SA, they can literally do it all. There's not much they cannot do.
Metal fabrication works, welding, you name it. Testing and tagging, that's a big one as well. And obviously safes, so floor safes, gun safes, the works. So give them a call for anything you need.
Well, who for you guys so far is bumping up for you as that player that's doing it all just like MK Services SA?
Who's it for you, Lee?
Well, it's...
I want to hear yours. Show me yours and I'll show you mine.
Yes, I've heard that. Well, both pitchers, James Harris has been responsible for a couple of brilliant outs. And in the batting, well, no, I think it's out of the pitchers, mate.
I'm going to go with Dale Martin as my do-it-all player for MK Services SA, only because a couple times he's had to make a couple plays in the field, just zipping over to first. Plus, he had a big tag out in that first inning, which stopped him from getting a second, and the RBI as well.
You're right, Eric. He hasn't made an error tonight. All he was slow getting up to field that ball, but he still made the play. So you're certainly right there, and he was obviously...
That's a fair point, but Laurie Peters would be... feel a bit left out with 15 Ks.
We always give it to the pitchers. Come on.
Well, that's what usually happens, doesn't it?
Well, Scott Fairley, James Harris, Laurie Peters, the 2, 3, 4 hitters. This will probably be the last time, unless it goes to a tiebreaker, that we will see these batters today. They have to get a wriggle on. They have 6 outs to work with. They need a run to extend the game. And Scott Fairley, James Harris, and Laurie Peters are all pretty good.
Here? He's just getting a little bit more pine tar for the hands, so obviously losing a bit of grip there with
the G.
Probably a little bit sweaty, a little bit nervous, and has tarred up for this one.
This is 2 hitters that are batting .404 and .410 respectively.
Well, Scott's been on twice, out of twice, 2 turns, 2 appearances, and so Jared's going to be fully aware of that.
He's been left at third twice, and this time
this is
he
definitely
swings through that.
The batter you want up now, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah,
it is
it is.
Definitely the batter.
Start us off with none out, with somebody on.
He's been stranded at that last base before home every time, and he just chops that one foul.
And don't forget, following up, we got James Harris as well, who's got the best batting average in the side.
And they haven't
Harris
pitched to him
and
yet.
then Laurie Peters after that cracking triple.
All players have their eye in now, so they're out of excuses here.
It's all set up, isn't it, here?
The intensity, you can
particular
feel
innings.
it just a little bit, screwed up a little. And he chops at that one foul, so doing a good job. Just like a Bee Gees song, Scott Fairley is staying alive. James Harris waits on deck. Will he have something to work with? 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he swings at that one, and it's a base hit. Scott Fairley is 3 for 3 on the day. He was thinking about 2. He's going to go back. So that changes everything, as James Harris will come to the plate. They haven't pitched to him yet. They've walked him twice.
Walked him. They can't do that now. They can't give him they cannot give him, but
does he bunt?
it's 1 run. Well,
Does
technically he has to. That's the
Or
play,
do
isn't
you,
it?
do you
That's the
bunt knowing that
percentage
it's
play.
your best hitter?
Yeah,
Up there,
but-
do you let him swing?
Well, let him have a.
I wonder
let
what
him have
Alex
one.
has instructed. Let's see how he shapes up here. He's not bunting.
There's the MK Services SA replay. Again,
Maybe
a
he's just
chopper
taken offside
into left field.
and then-
We'll see if James Harris lays down the
but
bunt or he has a crack.
That's a percentage play here.
Lee wants the bunt. This is going to be in for a strike.
Yeah, Alex would be toying with this because obviously he wanted the short game as part of his action plan tonight, but he can't do it with his best hitter.
He needs to get Scotty up to second again, and then the third for the 3rd time. And I'd like to revisit my best player because Scott Fairley's coming into
Well,
it
if
with
they-
a rate of knots.
I didn't get to tell you mine, did I?
No, because you.
We're still waiting for you, Nick Green.
Yeah, really. Like the French in the war. Late again.
Well, he's
I
had
prefer to be Switzerland and stay neutral, Lee, but
Oh, really?
I tell you what,
Look,
Scott Fairley's doing it for me so far.
3 for 3 in the game, but again, it's in a losing effort for the time being. There's still lots of time. They have let opportunities go begging all game long. They've left runners on third 3 occasions. They have the leadoff one. James Harris swings at that one. He got a piece of it. He saw it, but that one goes foul.
He looked at that pitch, swung the bat and said, hunt leather.
James will not be leaving anything close here with this count. He will be looking to hit everything that's close.
It's a big battle between 2 big state team players, Jared Farrell and James Harris. Season on the line here. That drops down low.
Kept it in front of him, though. The catcher then.
Yeah, Cooper Goodwin
Cooper,
doing a great
yeah,
job tonight
yeah.
catching to Jared. You can't
Yep.
be a good pitcher without a great catcher. So.
Full count. What will happen? Will they get a second runner on, or will they retire him? And Harris swings at that one. It's over to third, and that one goes
geez.
off the glove. It goes off Aaron Golder's face. Play continues. James Harris scampers off the bag, but he's got to run back to first. It's called dead the play. James Harris is going to get a hit.
Dead the
but
play.
The attention turns to Aaron
Let's have a look
Golder.
at the replay.
The MK Services SA replay is going to show a nice crack to the head here.
Oh.
It goes off the glove.
He had some luck with that foul ball back in the first, and then now the luck has changed. He's just been clocked in the ear. I dare say that would be ringing.
And you're worried, especially in this day and age. You want to make sure he's okay. You don't want a concussion. You don't want.
No.
He looks
all right.
okay. He's going to rattle him just a little bit. I think they just sort of had a bit of a timeout. You saw James Harris before scamper around second to see what's going on, but the runner was obviously saying, I think he was wondering if the ball was dead because it hit the glove here. Did it roll out of play is what I think they were looking at, but it clearly didn't. It just hits the fence there. And
Umpire McCauley did call dead ball when he got up there and he saw the situation. So
great call.
Yeah.
Always on the ball.
2 runners on and nobody out. Laurie Peters had a triple. If this might make him an MK Services SA player of the game, if he can drive him home.
That's why Umpire McCauley had to kill the ball then. So it prevented it. Something that happened that shouldn't have happened.
And Aaron Golder will be back building boats on Monday. He's a boat engine repairman.
Oh, okay.
They have been knocking on the door all game long.
Cooper taking a bit of a risk there by throwing to 1.
We've seen this in grand finals in recent memory, the risk of the catcher throwing.
Look how deep Josh Goodman is at thing. If it gets past the first base fielder.
That slips down low. It's going to advance both the runners. So 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. This is immense pressure. It takes away the force out.
And Scott Fairley once again is on third base.
God, he'd be getting used to this, wouldn't he? He'd be wanting to get home. Look at that. He's standing there again going, come on, guys, get me home.
He's 60 feet away, but he can't. He's reaching, but he
This
can't
up
get
high,
it.
and the bases are loaded. Jared Farrell has not allowed an earned run all season long. And now bases are loaded with nobody out in the penultimate inning of a grand final.
Alex Valley calling time here, taking some time to chat to Rick and possibly talking about how he's going to approach this. Rick is probably the man with the most experience in the team, so not a bad player to have up.
Yep.
He struck out the last time he was a bat. It was a leadoff triple, and they couldn't bring him home. They just need any sort of play to the outfield for a sacrifice fly. They need to get this ball in play.
They are running out of chances.
Needs to be the chopper shot because they seem to be in vogue.
Are they going to go for a squeeze and put ultimate pressure on them as well, too?
Well,
that's a risky play.
None out. You could afford a squeeze.
You got to take a risk though if you want to run off Jared Farrell. Called strike.
That was there. That was there. That was just high in the zone, but it was perfectly weighted.
Chops under some pressure. And he swings at that one. He gets a piece of it, but it's going to be a strike because it was foul. So bases loaded. 2 strikes. This is a huge moment in the game. Maybe the moment in the game.
Well, Slick Rick's trying to do the trick here.
Look at that
Just
bench.
land it somewhere there.
There is not one Hahndorf bloke sitting down at the moment. They are all up and about.
Chops that foul, so Rick Klug stays in the at-bat. You're right, there's hands on the heads. They're leaning against the fences. They're pacing. They're twitching. This is the moment.
And the Hahndorf batters in there starting to get bat on ball. Again, is that because the ball's getting slippery? I see he's swapped it over here.
Yeah, you can see he's definitely reached for a bit more tar this dig as well. Just getting that bit of grip on the ball. That's the rag hanging out the back of the pocket.
They've got him on, but they haven't got him home. It's a 2-2 count.
Every time that ball hits the ground, it goes back to 0 for Jared, and he has to sort of re-grip.
Yep.
Rick Klug, a little bit of pressure.
And it's full count. Bases loaded. Grand final. This is the sort of stuff that you dream about.
Jared taking some time out here.
Yes,
Swapping the balls.
Getting a nice draw.
Well, this is huge because it's got to be a strike.
Yeah,
he has to throw a strike here because if he lays it off,
ties the game. Yep.
So Rick knows it's coming. Where's it going to go?
Bases loaded. He's got a multitude of tricks. Jared Farrell, here's the pitch.
That's a walk.
And it's a walk.
That's a run.
The first earned run of the season for Jared Farrell has tied the game in the 6th inning.
I think I literally saw Scott Fairley's bottom relax there. He is so sick of being stopped at third base. He took every little bit of time to just run and hit the plate. He loved it.
That was the 3rd time he's got to third base, and now Mark Cramp will come up to bat, and it's still no outs. This is something so uncharacteristic of this side here, and it's all coming undone for Mount Barker.
Crampy has to bunt here. Has
to put a bunt down.
You have to put a bunt down here.
Why is that?
Well, because now, whatever they do now is going to be a bonus. Get these people around.
Sacrifice the run.
Sacrifice. Push it away from Jared like that.
And make him a play at,
try
to get a play at the plate.
Make it a play at there.
Well, you can see Luke Moyle is encroaching in.
Because Jared, because of his quickness, he'll be onto the bunt. But if you push it there, he's right-handed. He has to turn around.
He lays down the bunt,
no,
but it's
no.
in the air. Moyle looking for it, and he makes the catch.
Oh.
That did not go according to plan.
That has not popped up well, and that has put Mark back on the bench
Now,
again.
Alex Fairley comes to the back. Is the bunt still in play, given it's just one out?
The bunt is still in play.
Yep.
It certainly is. It can't be off the table. And Alex Fairley's game plan all along was to bring in the short game. Problem is, this is men's softball, and they're not used to hitting short.
Well, if
That's right.
And this one in the dirt, and this one slips away. Remember here, if they go up here, we'll go to the 7th inning, and they just need to protect 3 outs. So if they score one more run, they're just 3 outs away from a championship. This could be this last inning of batting. This is wild stuff here. Jared Farrell has not allowed a run all season long, and it's happened now. Here's the pitch. They lay down the bunt. There's going to be a play at home, and it's right back with the force out at home. So job done from Jared Farrell on the defense as James Harris just gets forced out at home. The bases will remain loaded because it'll be a fielder's choice.
Well, the bunt was still on, as we said, Lee. It was still an
It just
option.
went straight.
But it was just right to him. It was too
straight
easy.
Exactly right.
So Lockie Barham still has the potential winning run just at third base. They've got them so close all game, and that Laurie Peters triple, looks like that's going to go begging.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Lockie
I'd
Barham
really love to see Lockie put a ball in play here.
swings at that one. It's going to be in foul territory. Racing over for that was Luke Moyle and Josh Goodman, but that goes foul.
Yeah, Josh Goodman fielding in a little bit. He's obviously noticed that Lockie is going to be swinging late. He's not a player that's probably as used to the speed as what the others are and the more experienced players. So he's certainly going to be chopping late, as we saw there. So
And
Cooper
and that's a fair point. He's got to be in close, Josh. He can't afford the ball to drop in where there's a catch available.
Lockie Barham
They're getting bat on ball.
battling away here. Chops that foul, so we're at 2 strikes, but they are getting bat on ball. They have got a run already.
Isn't he looking much better than his first at bat, Lockie? The young fella.
Yeah.
Struck out his first 2 at-bats, or in the game so far. 10 strikeouts, though, on the day for Jared Farrell, so he's not alone in being struck out. And he swings through that one, and it is a strikeout. It's his 3rd time today, but they stay alive. The first earned run off Jared Farrell has tied the game going to the last inning. But think about this, gentlemen, as well, too. Alex Hopton will go, and then we turn the lineup order, which means Scott Fairley is going to get another chance to hit in this game. They stretched out that inning big time. That was huge.
Well, he's still my MK Services SA player of the day so far, definitely. Scott Fairley has been making the difference for Hahndorf. Is it going to make a difference who wins?
Well, Dale Martin.
We'll soon see.
Dale Martin will lead things off in this inning, and he has an RBI in that last hit. And if he could get on base here, that goes a long way.
Well, Laurie just taking his time to come out here and really starting to concentrate.
Is that Josh Goodman getting in the batters? No, it's Aaron Golder. But Dale Martin batting 182 on the year, and you said he was in a slump earlier, and he came through in a big way, and this might cement him as a chance for an MK Services SA player of the game if he can get a hit.
Exactly right.
Well, we're down to the last inning. It's been a wild one. Cooper Goodman led things off with a hit right off the bat, but was thrown out at second. It wasn't until the 4th inning where Jared Farrell, innocent-looking walk, turned into problems. Dale Martin drove home the run. They got runner on base the last one, but it's been a story. 14 strikeouts from Laurie Peters pitching today on the other end. You just saw it. They loaded the bases with no outs. They only scored the one run for Hahndorf to tie the game in the 6th, and that brings us right to the end, boys. It's the 7th inning. It's the grand final. There's only one more inning to go. Will we see a winner in this one, or will we have a tiebreaker?
Well, I tell you what it does do. It does put a lot of pressure on a younger fella. So Cooper here, Josh, he's going to have to be on the ball.
Didn't Josh Goodman end the last inning, though?
That's what I thought he did.
So are they batting out of turn? Josh Goodman chops this over, but I thought that was Josh Goodman ended the last inning, 2-1. It was swinging through, and James Harris threw it over.
Yeah,
Maybe we're doing a better job than the scorers because no one else has picked up on this.
No, that's right. That's right.
Should we check in with the scores?
I think we might. We got Rose Mattingly there.
Did they bat out a turn?
And we got Jo Fairley. I think she's having a look at it now because she's making the assistant coach aware.
Yeah, I think they batted out a turn as Dale Martin comes up because Josh Goodman had strung out there, and James Harris threw him out over at first to end the last inning.
There it
He
is.
certainly did.
What happens there?
What happens there, Lee? You're the bronze master.
Well, it's the pitch has been thrown, so too late.
So they had to call that earlier as this is chop foul. So Josh Goodman got an extra at bat. Had that he got on base, this is where it would have been controversial.
Exactly right.
Dale Martin up to bat.
Normally, when you work it out in the innings, you can change it, bring them out, and put the right one in.
But there's no penalty for batting out of turn at all? This is chopped right back up the middle. This is a tough play. Throw over, and it's wild.
Wet ball.
So that one just rolled out of Pete Fairley's hands, and what could have been the leadoff guy, Dale Martin, gets his second hit of the game.
That was that dewy ground we were talking about earlier. You can
Yeah.
start to see it glistening. The ball starts to skip a little. Pete, no trouble fielding that as it came off the dirt, but what we saw was the fingers, it just slipped right out. You really have to take your time with the throw, not rush it. Make sure you get as many fingers on the ball with the throw as you can.
Aaron Golder will step up to bat. He's struck out once in the game. There's a throw. Yeah, that slipped out of his hands on the MK Services SA replay.
And Aaron Golder, the bloke who copped one to the head at third base. His ears might be ringing, but let's hope he doesn't get rung up. Aaron.
Well, he mustn't answer the call if he does.
Here we go.
This is chop foul once again.
He's still getting some hits. He's still getting bat on ball. And as Jared said, he is great for jagging a play in a difficult situation, which is what this is. We got a runner on base in Dale Martin, and he needs to get him around.
Oh, a tough throw back over.
Great throw from Harris then.
Very
Nearly got
fast.
the runner.
Very fast.
tight.
A great play. That was actually quite close. That was closer than what I thought.
Well, Keith Goodman comes up to bat. 2 outs. Got 15 strikeouts.
More than that, I think it's 16-1, just counting.
Keith Goodman steps up. He's got 2 outs. He's got the go-ahead run here in the 7th over on first. Looking for a pitch to hit and drive to the outfield.
15 I've got.
Laurie Peters having no trouble getting Keith every single time at bat. Keith hasn't touched him yet. James having a really good look there at Dale at first. Nelly had him on that first throw, but Alex Hopton just fielding a little bit more off the base and not able to get the throw away.
Right fielder is very, very deep for a pick-off throw.
Swings at that one, just chopped foul.
You're going to do that, Nick. I think, look at he's going back on the fence even.
Yeah, it's got just a little bit too far out for my liking.
Yeah, mine too.
Especially with this kind of hitting, he's swinging late.
Especially if Harris goes to the pickoff again.
Good job laying off that one.
Oh, he's got high knees.
No, it's called, was that called strike? No.
No.
Oh.
Hang in there, Eric.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was a bit of a...
That was right down the middle, but
just second guess yourself, mate. Unusual.
Chop foul, staying in the at-bat.
Back in the snake pit, that ball. That won't be found till next season.
Huge moment in the game. They got the go-ahead run in the grand final. Full count. Keith Goodman. Dale Martin will get a little bit of a lead if he wants with the full count. Here's the pitch, and he chops this one foul. This is going right behind us here. Staying alive. This is going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat.
Well, Keith Goodman's had plenty of looks at this pitching, plenty of eye on the ball here, and he's just managing to touch it every single time to keep himself in the batter's box. The longer he stays there, the better his chances.
Keith Goodman. Huge moment. Can they come up with another big 2-out hit at the most important time? Swings through that one. Another strikeout.
James very happy with that. We saw him do a little fist pump there. So obviously extremely happy to get away with that and to get us into the situation we are now. Unbelievable. 17 strikeouts in 7 innings from Laurie Peters has given his team a chance with a lineup about to turn over to the top to walk it off and win it all here in the 7th. Exactly right. IGA Mount Barker, we've got to give them a mention. They've given us some money tonight as well and made the barbecue happen. So IGA Fresh Mount Barker. There's the Pirates on screen. Arr, boys, arr.
They look like they're having a tough time out there.
Oh, look at them go. I don't see any wooden legs tonight.
Maybe later on.
Where is the Jolly Roger? And where is Captain Griffwood?
Oh, like a pirate, I think a couple of them are pretty blind as well, too.
Maybe both eyes.
Well, good community support out here, and thanks to all of our sponsors, including MK Services SA, for bringing you this stream. Some of the girls celebrating from Achunga, or that's the Red Sox.
Yeah, that's the Torrens Valley Red Sox there. Successful in their premiership forays.
Well, Alex Hopton will lead things off for the Magpies. They are one swing of the bat, one hit over the fence, or one run home from bringing home a premiership.
And this is a great position for Hahndorf to be in after the momentum certainly shifted there.
Jared Farrell does not lose grand finals, and he's on the verge right here. If they can drive one home, Peter Fairley stands on deck.
He's still smiling, Jared. He's still having a good time. He's still enjoying this, nice and relaxed.
He's got 11 strikeouts on the day.
Why wouldn't you be relaxed with his record?
Yeah, he's been in this situation before, that's for sure. We're going down to the wire. Bottom of the 7th. Extra innings looming. Bit high. What are the tiebreaker rules here in the men's competition?
Tiebreaker rules exactly the same as the women. We have a runner starting from second, and it's pretty much you're putting a bunt down. That is the rule. Runner at second, put a bunt down.
Comes down to who can execute with runners in scoring position. They'll give you the opportunity, but can you make the most of it?
It actually comes down to who can bunt. It really does, because that's all they have to do to advance a runner to 3.
And we've talked about that before, because a lot of these big fellas, they're not used to bunting in matches.
Oh, Alex Hopton's used to, swinging from Tuesday, basically.
Makes it harder with strikeout pitchers there, and Alex Hopton swings at that one again.
So like you say, Nicky's got power, Alex, hasn't he?
He certainly does. He's a big
Look at
hitter.
the shoulders.
A massive hitter. And someone so good to have batting at number 9, a batter like this.
Chops that one foul. He's battling away here.
I've noticed Jared hasn't gone to that pitch very much in the last 3 innings. That breaking curve pitch. It's probably because of the dampness on the ball.
Well, he's not going to get it to break. That's the problem with the grip.
He's
that's a pitch you really need to grip hard.
Yep. Well, you won't do it with Jude.
That drops down low. Alex Hopton, those foul balls paying off, working himself way more into the count now.
Isn't he?
Full count.
Looking very good, Alex Hopton.
Until then.
Well, at least he swung. I'll say that.
That's
at least
true.
he swung. He thought he had to go, but he probably could have held off on that one and been at first base.
It's a bit like having bases loaded with 2 out and you don't swing. You never know.
There is nothing worse.
Coaches do not like that.
Back to the top of the order. This will be the 4th time through.
I think if you don't swing at a 3rd strike, Alex will have you arrested.
Peter Fairley goes down low.
Well, that's a fair cop, I think, Nick.
It's, leaving that one perfectly. He didn't want a bar of it. He knew it was coming in and low.
Scott Fairley is on deck, and this one is just chopped. Is this going to fall?
Wow.
Leading back there is Dale Martin, who makes a very nifty play to bring that one in.
Eric, it's gone to your MK Services SA player of the match, who you realised quite early that he's quite a contender for. So good catch in these conditions.
Well, I feel like whoever plays a part in driving home the winning run might take the cake there too, but here's a guy who's 3 for 3.
He goes 4 for 4, then you can forget Martin.
Can't you? Scott Fairley, the best hitter so far tonight.
And he swings at
another
that one, and that gets through. Scott Fairley continues a great day, and he's going to push for 2. And he's got a single, he's got a double, he's got a triple, and he's got another single.
Not only did that beat Aaron Golder at third base, but Keith Goodman's even picked up the ball there at left field and struggled to throw it. It slipped right out of his hand.
Well,
plenty of juice
so
in that distance.
Here's a question for you guys. James Harris, he's already got a hit in this game, and he's the best hitter in the lineup. He doesn't matter, James Harris, because the guy standing on second is the most important one. The game's over if he scores. Do you walk James Harris, but knowing that Laurie Peters, who has a triple this game, is standing on base?
Well,
if Laurie's seeing it, you don't want to give up Harris. I dare say he may have to look at going with a runner in scoring position. You might see a few pitches a little bit closer to the zone here.
James Harris has a chance to win it, and he swings at this one. This is hit high. It's deep. Is it deep enough? It's right to the right fielder, and it is caught by Josh Goodman.
Ooh. Josh managing to catch that one. We know he missed the that earlier one that went nearly foul ball, but all over that.
Well, 7 innings have solved absolutely nothing.
hey,
We're right where we started. It's a 1-1 game. We're going to a tiebreaker.
runner at second, the winning run, and he's going the first pitch. James, just an observation.
Yeah, nothing wrong. Sometimes the first pitch is the good pitch, as we've seen from
Well,
Laurie
he
Peters.
just missed it.
Yeah, I know, but because of the jury around, and it's harder to pitch, I would be making him throw as many pitches as I could.
Well, that was one of Alex's keys to winning. He reckons he's been to a locksmith and he has the key, and he said it is definitely taking a lot of pitches and making Jared work for every batter. But obviously, as we can see, Hahndorf just having a quick chat about how they're going to make this play out. Obviously, there'll be a bunt going down, and they've got to field it. It's
So
as simple as that, and make a routine play.
It's Dan Peterson who will lead things off for the Red Sox. Does that mean that Keith Goodman goes to second? The one before?
The last batter out. The last batter.
Well, that could be interesting.
Do
Keith's
you go
not the
pinch
quickest.
runner?
You'd have to, surely. You have to put a pinch runner in here. You need some speed, and I don't think Keith will be able to deliver it. Not with this weather, anyway. My joints are freezing up.
Yeah.
No, Keith Goodman looks like he's going out there. He is.
Well, dare I say we're going into extra innings.
We are. It is the tiebreaker here. Dan Peterson will step up and lead things off. There's a runner in scoring position. Obviously, both teams will have this opportunity. Now, how about the pitchers? If you're a pitcher going late into a game, normally you're not in 8-inning, 9-inning contests during the season. How does that affect your arm and your endurance?
Well, that's exactly right. Laurie and Jared, though, are both extremely fit. They are used to pitching a lot of balls, so we should see them still be going as hard as they were in the first innings. 114 Ks in warm-up, we're just seeing here from Laurie Peters, so he's not slowing down. That's still consistent with where he's been tonight. But on this play, on these sorts of tiebreakers where we're going to see them shaped to bunt, you'll probably see the rise come out. You probably want a bit of kick off that bat, and not being able to get the ball down into play is what we're going to see from Laurie.
Well, extra innings in a grand final. Does it get any tighter? Some 6th-inning drama when Hahndorf Magpies loaded the bases with no outs. They were only able to score 1 run. They've left opportunities on the bases all game long, including that last inning where they had a runner in scoring position and they couldn't bring him home.
It's a great spectacle, this game.
Dan Peterson steps in. And it wasn't a bunt. He swings right through. Well, you know what? It's probably gonna take a hit either way off one of these pitchers to score that winning run. 2 bunts.
Well, it's going to take a big hit to score old Keith out there, the poor man.
Are you surprised they didn't go for a pinch runner?
Yeah, very surprised.
Very surprising.
Jared might be seeing this, obviously, go to an extra inning, but it'll be great to see who Hahndorf have up.
Dan Peterson steps in, and he swings at that one. That's chopped foul. Temperature dropping also a little bit around here.
Yeah, we noticed Dan Peterson did a lot better at his last at-bat. Can he do one better again and get a hit this time? Just push one out into play. That's all he needs to do.
Swings at that one again, chopped into foul territory. Alex Hopton had a look at that, but that slipped way over just behind us by the batting cages.
Yeah, he's certainly getting closer, Dan Peterson.
Well, Peterson's thinking, keep him moving, Dan. See if he can get Goodman on, but at the moment, just fouling it off.
What's he throwing here? Hooked a little bit up. Yep.
And he swings at that one. That's chopped down the line. Is it going to be foul? It is. And Scott Fairley sees that slip foul. Good at bat from Dan Peterson.
Yeah, great at bat. Really good at bat here. That would have been a safe hit if it landed in. Scott Fairley all over it though, but still getting Keith to third. As we said before, just a ball in play against
I'm
the
not
runner.
thinking I would have caught that somehow. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep in foul territory.
Maybe not now, Lee.
No.
Swings through that one. It's a strikeout. Harris holds on to it as that one dripped down low as well. It's 18 strikeouts for Laurie Peters, and the runner stays at second.
Now that certainly hit the ground hard. James picking that up on the half volley. A great little pick up there to make sure that no one could get to three.
Luke Moyle.
Well, the junior burger.
Cooper Goodman awaits, and he's batting 500. That's a great chance with a runner in scoring position. Now here's a big one too, because had they not batted out a turn the last inning, they would have been looking at a place where Jared Farrell would be hanging right around the corner in extra innings.
Exactly
that might make a huge difference.
That mistake could cost him here.
Interesting they're going trying to bunt now.
Yeah, well, they've already wasted an out. That's the problem, and that's why you always bunt first. And the first at bat.
Just play the percentages.
And all they needed was that outfield fly, and that scored the run. Still some work to do, though, and this is a strikeout pitcher either way. You've seen Jared Farrell get out of a bases-loaded jam in the game. He only allowed the one run with no outs, and Laurie Peters certainly capable of that, too.
1-1. We'll probably still see a bunt here if he's going to do it, but no.
Swings through that one. 19. Can he get to 20 in a grand final?
Well, they've got to walk Cooper Goodman here. They can't let him bat here.
This is what James and Alex will be discussing now, whether they actually pitch out of the zone, try and make him go for it.
He is batting 500, and the next is $149 in the lineup.
I'm not letting him bat here. Get to Harry May and then Jared. But there's two down, so...
Well, the risk is you get to Jared. That's what you don't want.
That's right, but you can't afford him to land one somewhere.
Again, if they hadn't batted out a turn, Jared would be just looming on deck. Instead, it's Harry May. And he swings at that one. It's hit deep.
High.
It's hit to right field. This is back. Can he find it? Diving out to make the catch is Scott Fairley. And that ends the attack for the Red Sox.
Well, for a bloke with glasses who doesn't like night games, he has just made a fantastic catch, and he has pretty much sealed the deal for his game. You can't ask for much more from Scott Fairley tonight.
Oh!
Look at that.
Yeah.
On the MK Services SA replay, he was playing a bit in, and he lines back and makes a great diving catch. He's
Not
got
bad.
4 hits already, and there you go, Scott Fairley.
That is the man you want everywhere, just about. Scott Fairley, you want him at 1 to 9 in the lineup, and you want him everywhere on the field. That was
Need
amazing.
I go over the best player again?
Yeah.
Or shall I just go quietly?
Well,
Unbelievable effort, and had that got over his head, that would have been a run scored. And Harry May and Jared Farrell looming in the lineup. That is a key moment right there, a highlight reel catch.
It looked like it could have gone, didn't it?
it certainly did. Scott Fairley, being Scott Fairley, will probably force his whole family to watch this on replay later on tonight.
Well, thanks to, I think there's one company he can thank in MK Services SA for making sure he has that one forever. He's got the 4 hits and he's got that diving catch.
Yeah, exactly right. What a game for him too. He's not a young man anymore, Scott Fairley.
Nothing wrong with being old, Nick.
What
you may
a
get there
performance.
yourself one day.
I might.
Well, Scott Fairley, though, unfortunately, is the furthest away from batting in the lineup right now. James Harris will start on second, but Laurie Peters, he's got a triple and can slash it with the best of them. He's up to bat first. Could he be swinging away?
I dare say.
You want to say bunt, don't you?
I want to say bunt. I want to say bunt. And Alex Fairley said he will be playing the short game tonight. So, is he going to make Laurie bunt after that massive hit? Again, do you make one of your better hitters bunt when he could score the run and game over?
You said Alex said he's going to be playing the bunt. We haven't seen too many. What do you do?
Bottom of the 8th, we are in extra innings. A run here from the Magpies wins it. And Harris is running, and he's might be caught in a rundown. Harris trying to get back. He slides in there safely. Dan Peterson wasn't quite over to second quick enough to make that tag. James Harris looking to be aggressive. They got that throw over to third, but there wasn't a force out at second.
No, I didn't think that was almost a hit and run.
There's the MK Services SA replay, and James Harris, we got to get back. Gets back there, boy. Swings through that one. 2 strikes.
Yes, Jordan will be starting up the washing machine tonight. He's got really dirty. Down and dirty, Harris.
Jordan Lambert probably would have stolen that bag. She would have been over by third in that time.
Have you met Jordan Lambert? She'll make James wash it himself.
That goes outside. A bit quicker than James, too.
Yeah, just a bit.
Slightly.
Just a bit. She'd run rings around him.
She'd be home by now. Here's the pitch. Swings through that one. Jared Farrell striking out Laurie Peters. It's 13 strikeouts for him now.
This guy has experience, and I think he might bunt. I don't want to say it too loud because no one's bunted yet.
No one has bunted. Does that change the approach going to the next bit?
Go.
There he goes. Lays down the line. It's a good one. Throw over to first. They make the play. Well, it's a familiar place.
That is how you play a tiebreaker. That was perfect. That was textbook from Rick Klug. He's got the experience. He's got the know-how. He was the man to always put a bunt down. Not the quickest man. He's never going to get to first, but that's not what it's about, is it, Lee? It's sacrificing that run.
However, that's what you want to do on the first one, because a hit to the outfield would score a run where it's 2 outs either way. And it's hard to get a hit off of Jared Farrell, but Mark Cramp can win it right here with just a tough, if he puts the ball in play, that puts so much pressure on that throw going to first.
And it was a perfectly executed bunt. It kept Jared out of the play.
Well, James,
that is tough to do with his reach.
Yep.
Courtesy runner coming in with James Harris, the catcher, having to get ready to jump back in it should they retire the third out. They've got this runner to third base. This is the 5th different occasion in 8th inning. They've got it there, and they've had runners standing there, and he swings at that one. It's going to be a tough play across the diamond. Throw there, and they got him.
Well, Aaron Golder making that play look really easy, but given these conditions tonight, that could have been disastrous, and he's made it. The team obviously extremely happy with that fielding performance. And Mark Cramp got in the game.
And it's the first pitch again.
Exactly right.
Swung at. I'm making the pitches throw as many as I can.
Going deep into this tie-break innings especially, they've got to be wearing down a little bit now. Obviously, we saw Laurie Lastic not take any speed off, still throwing it around 114 to 118 kilometres. But now he'd be getting a little bit colder, a little bit tighter. We'll see what happens. The Pirates still partying on. I dare say that could be going for, well, I mean, they might still be here when we drive past on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to take the plug out of the boat.
No one's sinking their ship tonight. They're extremely happy.
No, rightly so. I saw a fair bit of that game. They were really superior.
And a great time to mention some of the other sponsors as well that have popped up. Paul's Garden Supplies, so keep that in mind if you're up in the Adelaide Hills. And of course, Adelaide Hills Hire, who supplied us our scissor lift for the live broadcast. We wouldn't be showing you these great pictures of Scott Fairley diving on that ball to make an amazing catch at right field.
Super catch.
MK Services SA, player of the game maybe. We'll see. That's Scott Fairley.
He is so far.
You're taking a lot of convincing, gentlemen.
So far. He is so far.
Harry May, Jared Farrell, Josh Goodman. The meat of the lineup for the Red Sox. Surely here, you have to lay down a bunt knowing Jared Farrell's next and a fly ball could score the run.
This lineup is so chunky you can carve it. It is brilliant. It is amazing. Harry May can put a bunt down. Again, another really experienced player, not foreign to this situation either, and making the short play. Harry used to do a lot of left-handed slapping. I think we'll see one go down here.
Cooper Goodman standing on second base. Laying down the bunt, and it goes right by him for a strike.
That was a good hard pitch from Peters.
Watch the signals Goodman's giving at second about the go out there, he's saying.
Yeah, put it out there on that dew.
That one slips away, and Cooper Goodman, no need for the bunt because he's going to get to third on that pass ball.
Well, I tell you what, it still leaves room for a shorter play, maybe a slap. Let's see here. He might just unload, though, and try and put a ball out into that outfield.
No outs. Runner on third base here in the extra innings, and James Harris is just looking to slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Scott's depth out there as well. He's obviously called the field in because a runner at 3, they want to really pull those fielders in around the batter, put the pressure back on. Alex Fairley creeping right down.
It's outside.
Look at Alex Fairley where he stands when that pitch comes out. He is all over Harry, getting ready for that bunt. He'll fake to 3, check the runner, and then make the play at first.
This chop foul, Harry May staying alive.
Just got to get the ball down, doesn't he, Harry? Get it down, force him to make a play.
Just maybe.
Make contact.
Bit of a hush around the crowd before the pitch.
Still shaping for the bunt, but he's going to obviously pull that back and slap away.
Full count.
What that does too, Lee, is it gives you a really good idea of where the ball's going with that bat out there to give it some perspective. So it does make you get a lot closer to the ball.
Swings through that one. Strikeout number 20. But the runner is over at third, and Jared Farrell steps to the plate. He's been walked 3 times. Will we see a 4th?
Yep.
I think you have to walk him.
Yeah, you have to walk him.
You have to walk him. He loves this situation.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's smiling away. He loves it.
Yeah.
Anything close, he will get away with it.
Does he try to surprise him and just put the ball in play and knock one in there, knowing that it's just the one run? Swing on one and just a little bit outside. And they're just going to give him the intentional walk. They're not even, they've got one intentional walk to use.
Well, that's playing the percentages.
4 walks.
People can boo and they can do what they like, but they're here to win the game, Hahndorf. Same as...
but what this does, it opens up a double play, right? So if it's hit right to second base and they can make the play there, then that might be able to hold them off.
Gives you 2 options rather than 1.
Josh Goodman, 0 for 4 in the day. He's struck out twice. This is 5th time, and it was because he batted out a turn on one of them.
No better time to put a ball in play.
Swings through that one.
Might take 2 hands to hit the ball, though, here. Just took his hand off at the end.
You never take your hand off the bat at the end.
Keep in mind, Laurie Peters is a strikeout pitcher. He struck out 20 in the game so far in an unbelievable grand final display. So he can carve him up, and he swings through that.
Laurie's got to be careful here too. We saw that first pitch go a bit high and out. We don't need a deflection off of James's glove here either. That's the other thing, because anything behind, and Cooper Goodman's going to be looking at going.
He cannot afford to throw it up.
Goodman, big chance here. Fly ball. That's all he needs, and he chops this one foul.
It was up a bit too, wasn't it?
That was high.
Yeah.
That was really high.
And my potential MK Services SA man of the match is standing on deck, and Dale Martin with 2 hits and the 1 RBI. So this would be another big moment if they can get him up to bat. Josh Goodman, though, the man of the man mission right now. He swings through that, chops it foul once again.
And he stares back at Big Harry.
He's getting closer.
Laurie.
He is getting closer. You mentioned his brother there.
Yeah,
It's
I
wrong
know. Well,
Peters.
his brother can pitch it also a little bit.
Oh, just a little. Just a little.
Just a little, and he is just a little. He's just a little smaller than Laurie.
Pocket Rocket Peters.
Josh Goodman swings through that, 21 strikeouts.
Doesn't that just keep climbing? This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he's still throwing at pace. We're still seeing it come down at about 112, that one. So really good pace, still solid.
And it was a runner at third and no outs. And now it's runners on the corners, but he's got 2 outs. You can make the play anywhere. And both teams will have a little bit of a conversation, a few mind games going on here. Dale Martin has done a great job of putting the ball in play. All he needs is that hopper once again, and it's a lead for the Red Sox.
Yeah, and it's a catch of speed, that rule, and Harry May comes in to run for Cooper.
You can't take anything away from Jared's base running. We know he's an all-rounder, but he's actually a really smart base runner. And what we might see here is him putting a little bit of pressure on James to maybe make a play.
Yeah, they might get a free bag, though, over at second.
Forcing a play,
But that would put another runner in scoring position, so keep your eye on that. But Dale Martin has got 2 hits already in the game. This one up high, and James Harris, great job of bringing that one down.
He had to get it. He knew that.
He threw the lift driver's pitch going up.
That'll only show up on the score sheet as a ball, but man, that is going to be a moment that you might look back on.
Well, one a little bit lower, but still out of the zone. Dale seeing that clearly, didn't even look like having a go. So Dale obviously seeing the ball really well.
It is a pitcher's duel, just as advertised. And he swings at that one. It was starting to drift away out of the zone, but he tried to drive with it.
It was just had a bit of curve on it, that one, and just couldn't get a solid pace, but God, he's close. He's close to hitting.
Here's the pitch. Swings through that, 2 strikes. But Jared Farrell gets the free bag over to second, so it's 2 runners in scoring position.
So tell me something about Aaron Goldie. Could he bring a run in when he bats next? Just a yes or no.
Here it is.
Okay.
Yes, he can.
Dale Martin, no. This is the man. He swings it. Looks at that outside. It's a full count.
Walking this man, Dale.
Well, the problem with that is the loaded bases.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's all or nothing, isn't it? Really?
It is, yeah.
Here it is, though. It is 2 outs. That's what they do have up their sleeve, and 21 strikeouts with 2 outs on there and a time called at the last second. So, big moment. If they can keep the pressure off the base pass here, the Magpies will go back to the bottom of the 9th, the chance to win it all with the runner on second.
Just taking that bit of time out there, he obviously there's some bugs flying around as well.
And Dale puts this up in the air. This is over towards first. Hopton brings that in, so they get the runner to third with nobody out, but they can't bring him home.
Well, what a tie-break innings this is turning out to be. This is amazing. This is great softball.
It's a fantastic game, isn't it? Fantastic game for us 3 to be part of it.
Hahndorf really getting around the players there. You can see all the bench getting out to high-five them. They're riled up, they're ready. Mark Cramp's even running out there now, a little bit early for that. Alex Fairley wants to have some words.
So Mark Cramp will go to second, and I mean, it's the bottom of the lineup. Surely they have to lay down that bunt, but it is the bottom of the lineup, and Jared Farrell, by the way, or sorry, Mark Cramp on second. He is, with the 8 and 9 hitter, 6 at-bats, 6 strikeouts. So,
well,
that's good, right?
It's consistent.
Well, it's good for one side.
Well, I tell you what, if you've got Alex Fairley coming up to the plate, he can lay a bunt down. We've seen that before. If he can get one down, advance the play.
Yep.
All you've got to do is get one of the lower order to just tap it in. Just tap it in.
Alex Fairley will step it up. Can another Fairley get the job done? Fairley, Barham, and Hopton due up. It is the bottom of the lineup. Advantage, Farrell on the mound. Will we get to inning number 10 in a 7-inning game, but a chance to win it with the Magpies, and they swing right through the pitch again, not looking at that bunt.
That was almost a hit and run because that ball was far too high, and Alex is obviously a far too experienced batter to swing at that, so I think he was going no matter what.
That down low, the Cramp stuck over at second.
He just needs to put the handcuffs on himself and concentrate on this pitch. Put it down.
Barham chops at that one. Farrell picks it up. He's going to get the runner back at second. They got him in a rundown. Do they have the leadoff guy? They do. But the runner trying to get back to second. Do they double him up? They're safe there.
Wow.
Well, just as advertised, you said Jared Farrell's defense is top-notch. That was it right there.
That is exactly what I was talking about. He is one of the best fielders in that side, if not the best, and he loves to field his own pitching, so nothing goes against his stats.
They still have a runner in scoring position, but the important thing is they keep that runner from getting to third.
And now Scott Fairley obviously taking over that little bit of coaching with Alex Fairley, the head coach out there on second base, possibly telling Lockie to bunt.
Lockie Barham showing bunt, but that slips down low, and Jared Farrell was running in right after his pitch.
Jared obviously all over this. Like I said before, he's like a vacuum cleaner. He just sucks anything up in that parameter.
Well, that's a good one, Nick.
Lockie Barham lays down the bunt, but that drops foul. As Cooper Goodman scoops that one up. He's done an excellent job behind the plate today, Cooper Goodman.
Yeah, the Coop scoop. Gotta love him. There we go. Lockie Barham hasn't got himself into the game as yet with the field or with the bat.
And he lays down the bunt again, and again that drifts foul, so it sort of takes away that bunt.
Just a little bit too fancy, Nick, with the bunts. And that,
Bunting is such a simple thing.
Just do it. That's why it's called sacrifice. Hello? Sacrifice yourself, if need be.
There's no such thing as a good or bad bunt. A bunt is a bunt.
Barham chops that one foul.
Lucky.
Well, you can hear the drum beats and the music playing and the Pirates dancing out in the outfield, adding to the atmosphere of the game as well, too. It's been a long one if we're going potentially into 10 innings here, and he swings through that one, and there you go.
Lockie Barham just...
4 strikeouts for him.
He hung around for a little bit, but the decision remains the same. He is out.
14 on the day for Jared Farrell, and Alex Hopton comes to the plate.
Wow, the crowd yelling out, just good contact. It's easy for them to say, isn't it,
Well,
Lee? And a strike on his first one.
14 strikeouts for Farrell and 21 on the other side for Peters, and we've seen a lot of strikeouts in the game, but 2 outs. Alex Hopton up to bat.
That's there. No,
Call
just
ball.
off. Even the batter had to check with that one. That was close.
Hopton grounds it over to third. Will they make a play? Throw across the diamond. Safe, and the run going back home. He's safe.
Oh!
There it is. The Magpies are kings of the hill. Alex Hopton puts it in play.
Well,
And Fairley scores the winning run.
I think I've just seen Magpies mating. That was a big jump. The Fairley boys jumping to embrace after sliding home.
There it is on the MK Services SA replay. Throw over to first, the runner back. Wasn't in time, they got the tag down, and he just slid in there.
You see that leg just wrap around the outside perfectly. Alex getting to the base before the tag got down on him.
Let's take a look at the plate here on the replay.
Alex wasn't slowing, he was going the whole time.
That is so close at the plate.
Damian McCauley, what a call
Well,
in this situation.
Let's see if we get an angle here. This is close. I don't know if it's slowed down or not, but this is unbelievably close. There's the runner at first, safe at first. So we're good at first, but here, didn't quite get it on that one. I don't know if there's another angle we see as they shake hands. Be interesting to see how close it was at home. This is unbelievable.
It all happened because they put the ball down on the ground.
Here it
That's
is.
what happened there.
You might get a shot here.
Aaron
There
Gold
it
is
is.
doing
Throw home. Nope. But you can see them celebrate. The Magpies are premiers. They beat them twice in the finals. Jared Farrell loses. He allows his first earned run of the season in the loss. Nick
Well,
Green, who is we got to hear it, your MK Services SA
I am
player of the
sticking
game.
with the first one I picked, and it goes to the guy who gets the runs and gets bat on ball, and that is Scott Fairley. Not only did he do that, but that magnificent catch at right field. Scott Fairley really made the difference for the Hahndorf team.
Well, here it is in slow motion on the MK Services replay.
Safe as
Such
houses.
a close play. He's safe. A great play. And there's the celebration.
Alex just managing to get that leg around, hit the plate before the tag goes down. Cooper thinking he already had him and was making the play, or the secondary play.
Well, gentlemen, it's a simple game, isn't it, really? You put the ball on the deck, you never know what will happen. 2 safe calls there, and they were both correct, weren't they?
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
great calls. Great calls.
Well, We will get your final thoughts, and thanks to MK Services SA and Spacequake Sports for the broadcast. We'll get our final thoughts and wrap up what was a a classic grand final.
Me? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you, Lee. Yeah, you, Lee.
Well, I just thought I'd lost my name for a moment,
Wake
mate.
up, Lee. We'll get you another cup of tea in a minute.
It's about time too, I think. No, what a fantastic game to be involved with. From our position as commentary, it was fantastic. It had everything, and what more could you ask for?
What I'm hoping for is that if you didn't make it out tonight, you really enjoyed this footage at home, because it'd be great if we could get back into the hills and see some of this quality softball from the men Division 1.
Certainly would. There's a food for thought. We'll speak to the great man, David Muggleton of
Spacequake Sports.
Yes,
great job from Spacequake as always, and thanks again to MK Services SA for bringing you the coverage live from the hills for the grand final.
Mike Bendel doing a really great job with sponsoring tonight and making it possible. So let's see Scott Fairley take the MVP. I'm pretty confident.
Me too.
Yeah, well, I think we'll so that will be it. That will be it for the coverage here, as we had a bit of bonus coverage going, 2 extra innings. Well, on behalf of Nick Green and Lee Hole, I'm Eric Ballner. Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching Spacequake Sports. The Magpies rule supreme on a bang-bang play in extra innings and become the kings of the hills.
Till next time, Eric. Good night.